Chapter 21 Bronze Killer. Chu Ying is very depressed these 2 days. As a bronze killer of the ink killing, most of his assassinations are those who are more than 7 heavy. This time, the task he received was actually to assassinate a powerful rookie. The ability to hang the title of the bronze killer shows that his strength has been initially recognized by the organization. The strength of Chu Ying is 7-fold, and the tasks he receives are basically the same as his strength, even the military who is stronger than him. Let him go to assassinate a powerful rookie, which is an insult to him. Chu Ying is an ambitious killer. His goal is to become a gold-level killer, so his training in the killing is quite hard. Latent, easy tolerant, one hit and kill, he is very hard to learn, and the strength is growing very fast. In order to stimulate their potential, Chu Ying often takes on some difficult tasks. Once he took over a task of assassinating the vitality of the 9 heavy mission. He completed the mission under his death. Since then, he has received the attention of the organization and allocated a lot of resources. The object of this assassination is said to be an uninhibited shackle of the Qin state. It is not a matter of learning. At the age of 15, it is only a matter of strength. It is definitely the kind that the mud can't help the wall. It is said that the employer has spent a lot of money and must be a bronze killer. Such an opponent, Chu Ying can be crushed by a finger. However, Chu Ying is a very professional killer. Although he is dismissive of the employer's cautiousness, he is still very prepared. Many of the peers use blood lessons to tell the hatred of a truth. The lion fight rabbit also use all strength. Before the killing, there were many rookie level and even bronze level killers. It was because the opponent was too weak, so he blatantly went to kill, and the result was a blank death. As expected, the father of the assassination had originally prepared 2 masters to accompany him, which made Chu Ying suddenly feel very tricky. However, Chu Ying is very confident in his assassination. As long as he makes good use of the time and place, he can definitely kill the assassination from the guards of these 2 masters. But who knows, this silly hat did not bring these 2 followers, only took another kid and a little girl out of town. Hey, since you are looking for death yourself, then I am welcome. Far from watching the hatred of the heart is jumping out. After leaving the city, Chu Ying has been far behind the 3, not the slightest meaning. He had already visited the road from Wangcheng to Danwu College, and he had already had a good idea of where to shoot. The 3 men did not seem to be in a hurry, all the way to the mountains to play with water, so fast. Hey, you will have fun, this is the last happiness in your life. Chu Ying sneered in his heart. Seeing that he was about to go to Danwu College, Chu Ying was ambushing around a rocky hill in front of the 3 people. Here is the place he had already booked. There are piles of rocks here, which is good for hiding the figure. He is going to give Yi Yuan a kill here. Seeing that Yi Yuan is about to enter his murder range, the 3 are stopped, which makes Chu Ying quite wrong. Come out, follow us all the way, you must be tired too. Yi Yuan's voice was introduced into the eyes of the enemy. No one answered. This kid, he won't be blind. Want to swindle me out? Oh, it must be like this. However, it was a small look at this kid, he actually guessed that someone would send someone to kill him. But since I guess someone came to kill him, why didn't he follow him? Did the 2 followers follow them and didn't even discover them? But how is this possible? The 2 followers will be the same as their own. If they have followed the 3, they can't find it. As a bronze killer, Chu Ying still has considerable confidence in his means of latent tracking. If the spirit liquid warrior followed, he could not find out that it was justifiable, but the 2 followers were only the martial arts, and he could not find it. In any case, as long as they enter their own range of attacks, it is good to send the leaf vision to the king. Young master, what's wrong? Green did not know how Yi Yuan suddenly came up with such a sentence, could not help but wonder. However, Tang Yu's vigilance was quite high. When Yi Yuan's words were exported, he was guarded. Oh, it is a small thief, when it is okay. Yi Yuan did not care. When Greener saw Yi Yuan's indifferent appearance, it was even more inappropriate. But the young master, where is the bad guy hiding? Hey, just behind that big stone, I guess he is waiting for us to attack us. Yi Yuan gave up his mouth and smiled. Yi Yuan's words made Chu Ying's feeling of relaxation just tight again. Was he behind a large stone at this time? But here is the rock stone. There are big stones everywhere. How can the guy know which big stone he is hiding behind? Still swindling me out. My hate is a professional killer. How can it be provoked by this weak and explosive method? Hey, your mood is chaotic, this is not good. Yi Yuan's voice came again, and Chu Ying's voice was fierce. As a killer, Chu Ying has always felt that his state of mind has been trained to the realm of the ancient well. However, the two sentences just mentioned by Yi Yuan really disturbed his state of mind. How can this be? The other party is just a big novice. Did he really find me? Is he not swindling me? At this moment, Yi Yuan's devilish voice once again got into his ear. So, I used a stone to smash it. If it's right, then I will come out. If I'm wrong, I will move on. Go, okay. As soon as the voice fell, Chu Ying heard a burst of wind. Then, the crisp sound of a small stone in the middle of the stone came. It was the stone he leaned on. Chu Ying knows no luck. Yi Yuan really knows that he is hiding here, not swindling him. With his body shape, Chu Ying discovered that the three teenagers were watching themselves. The boy who was in the middle of the country had a weird smile. It was the object of his assassination, Yi Yuan. How did you find me? Chu Ying looked gloomy. He really can't figure out. A powerful rookie, how could he find him? He now wants to know what is wrong with his hiding, so that he can make better improvements in his future tasks. As for the three people in front of him cannot threaten him, he did not consider it at all. How can the bronze killer of the ink kill be defeated by three rookies? I want to know. I will not tell you. For the problem of hatred, Yi Yuan does not seem to be ready to answer, nor can he answer. He couldn't tell the hatred. This body has a very powerful soul. Looking for death. Chu Ying is about to start, but suddenly stopped. Hey, it is a triple strength. It does not match the intelligence. Chapter 22 Flashing. In these 2 days, Chu Ying has been observing Yi Yuan in the distance, so she did not notice the change of Yi Yuan. At this time, the leaves were far away, and it was discovered that the object to be assassinated was already threefold. Of course, the weight and the tripleness of the vitality are no different for Chu Ying. Such an opponent is basically a spike. The three dimensions of the meta-environment are different. It is only a small realm that the difference between the 4 elements and the 3 elements is different. The difference in strength is very large. One element of 4-prongedness is 5 or 6 elements, and nothing is at all. Chu Ying is 2 steps higher than Yi Yuan. He does not think that Yi Yuan can pose any threat to him. What puzzles the enemy is whether the information given by the employer is wrong, or is this teenager too enchanting? Chu Ying would rather believe the former. After all, it has only been 2 or 3 days since the release of the task. 2 or 3 days can be cultivated from 1 element to 3 times. What kind of joke? Yi brother, this person is very tricky. I will drag him for a while. You and the green child rushed over. The college is only a dozen miles away from here. You hurry to move the rescue. Tang Yuzhen Jian Li and Yi Yuan green children in front of you. He can feel the murderousness of the hatred, but he can't see the depth of the hatred, knowing that he has encountered a hard battle. Yi Yuan saved Tang Zongwai's life and gave him the top medicinal medicine. It is a kind of grace for him. Tang Yu is paying his life. Although Tang Yu is also a genius student of Danwu College, compared with the hatred of the battle, no matter the strength or experience, the experience is far worse. Staying naturally is a dead end. Among the 3, Tang Yu has the strongest strength, so he stood up without hesitation. Seeing the appearance of Tang Yuru's enemies, Green's mind was also nervous. Young master, you run first, and I and Tang Daji give you a break. Yi Yuanjian Green child also stopped in front of himself, could not help but laugh. Stupid girl, what can you leave behind? Give me away. Do not let it. Just don't let it. Green children are strong. Seeing the actions of Tang Yu and Lu Yi Yuan was amused, but his heart was quite moved. See the truth in trouble. Green's move was expected by Yi Yuan, but Tang Yu met him for a few days, even if he saved Tang Yu's father and gave him a blast of Yuan Dan. If he is not determined, he is afraid that he has escaped. It is. You must know that with the strength of Chu Ying, if there is no accident, the three of them are a dead end. Ha 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 ha, it's really a moving scene. Yi Yuan, it doesn't matter if you don't say it, this little girl looks very watery. For a while, Chu Ying burst into laughter. At this time, Chu Ying has already affirmed that Yi Yuan is definitely a method of practicing, or is there any magic weapon on his body to find out his position? Such a skill or magic weapon is very useful to him, so he wants to ask questions anyway. Moreover, green is indeed very tempting. How can he let go of this opportunity? You let it go. Yi Yuan separated Green and Tang Yu, stood in front, still smiling on his face, but the smile on his face became very cold. Inexplicably, a chill came to my heart and let Chu Ying fight a cold war. How is this going? There are no 180 who have been killed by the enemy, and the body itself has a cold breath. Even if a warrior in a spiritual environment is standing in front of him, it is impossible for him to fight the Cold War. But in front of this three-powered kid, can he make him chill? Chu Ying feels that the pile of things that she encountered today is too evil. This is obviously a simple task, why is it so strange? You and I have no hatred. I want to come to you. That person is also spending money on disasters. I just wanted to take your hand, but if you dare to play the green idea, don't blame me for your life. Yi Yuan, the words revealed a chill. At this time, Yi Yuan swallowed a medicinal herb, which was refining before he left. Since he knows the danger of this trip, Yi Yuan naturally cannot be unprepared. This medicinal herb is called Wuxing Tongling Dan. It is made from 5 different kinds of medicinal materials of gold, wood, water, fire and earth. After taking it, it can directly raise a step in a period of time after taking it. Strength. Haha, that's funny. I want to see. You are a big boy, how can I kill my life? The mood of Chu Ying is far less relaxed than the surface. In fact, he just used this language to cheer himself up and drive away the shadow that hangs over his heart. At this moment, snap, the sword of Chu Ying was squirted. Hatred is a killer, and you can do whatever it takes to kill your opponent. No one said that the frontal confrontation could not be sneaked. At the last moment, Chu Ying was still laughing and talking, and the next moment his sword had already reached Yi Yuan. Yi brother, young master, is careful. Tang Yu and Green children shouted in unison. However, their shouts did not have the sword of hatred. When they reflected, the sword of Chu Ying had already passed through Yi Yuan's body. Young master, Yi brother, Tang Yu and Green children saw this scene and shouted heartbreakingly. Chu Ying always felt that something was wrong. His sword Ming Ming passed through Yi Yuan's body, but why didn't he feel at all? The reason why Chu Ying pulled the sword so quickly was not only because of his cautiousness, but also because his inner ominous feelings were getting heavier and heavier. Yi Yuan took the scene of the medicinal medicine. He looked in his eyes. Although he did not believe that Yi Yuan could eat any medicinal herbs, he could threaten himself. However, his longtime caution still made him not hesitate to pull the sword. Only dead people are reassuring. However, I clearly killed Yi Yuan. Why is the ominous feeling of my heart still lingering? At this time, the shape of Yi Yuan, who was stabbed by Chu Ying, gradually dissipated and turned into nothingness. The murder of the vengeance is only a residual image. Hey, it's dangerous for you to use your back to face the enemy. Yi Yuan's voice made Chu Ying's figure suddenly stiff. How is this possible? It has already stabbed him. Flashing. It turned out to be a flash. Tang Yu exclaimed. Young master, it's great that you are fine. Greener surprised. Oh, of course, nothing, your young master is so easy to die. Yi Yuan laughed. Yi brother even learned such a difficult footwork, and also used the ground to be so fascinating, really a genius. Tang Yu exclaimed. The worm is a little skill. For others, flash is a very deep footwork that is extremely difficult to comprehend. However, for Yi Yuan, this level of footwork is not difficult at all. The flash of flash looks so powerful. It's just a small step to move forward. It's just a first-order martial arts. It's not so advanced. However, this kind of footwork is inconsistent with the heavens, easy to learn, and it is very difficult for ordinary people to practice. Even at Danwu College, flash is a very clever martial art, and there are only a handful of people who can practice. However, This level of heaven is not worth mentioning for Yi Yuan, who once had a very high level. Chapter 23 I only have one finger. Speaking of it, Yi Hang sent Yi Yuan to Danwu College for some advantages. This guy took a few lessons and listened to something. Although these things are not worth mentioning for Yi Yuan, it is a good choice to cover people. With Yi Yuan's current strength, Flash is a practical and not too swaying martial art. Although this martial art coincides with the heavens, in fact, it is only barely strong, and even the threshold is not entered. Yi Yuan has sorted out the memory of his predecessor these days. With his impressions of his predecessor's class, he has explored several basic martial arts, and Flash is one of them. In fact, Yi Yuan's flashes of display are somewhat plausible, but they are displayed with Yi Yuan's understanding, which is stronger than those of the college. No wonder you dare not come out with your followers. I can't think of your flashing light to actually reach this level, it's amazing. It seems that the evaluation of your evaluation is quite big. Chu Ying cold and cold. Flash is not a unique martial art, and Chu Ying naturally knows. However, the flash is a small range of moving steps, which is not very useful for assassination, so he has not refined. A martial art also has a realm of division. From low to high, it is entry, Shaocheng, Dacheng, consummation, and the legendary illusion. Even so, Chu Ying knows that he can use the flash to leave a residual image, and this martial arts at least achieves a perfect state. I can train such a powerful body martial arts to a perfect state. If you don't touch the warrior who is good at the body, you will almost have the power of self-protection. No wonder this kid is so mad, it is indeed some skill. As an assassin, Chu Ying is naturally good at martial arts. However, his body martial arts only cultivated into the realm of Dacheng, and there is still a big gap from the perfection. Don't look at the gap between Dacheng and consummation, but for a martial art, it is a world of difference. The so-called consummation is that the cultivation of this martial art has reached its peak and there is no possibility of improvement. It is not the kind of enchanting savvy, it is difficult to perfect a martial art. As for the legendary illusion, it means to destroy the perfection, to illusion of another possibility, is a sublimation of the original martial arts. It is the realm of the legend that you want to achieve a whimsical situation in a martial art, demanding to be horrible. In general, the perfection of a martial art is the highest level. Chu Ying has always been quite conceited about his own body, but he does not want to be defeated in a hand. There is a prize, but if you don't add points, you still have to die. Yi Yuan said lightly. Ha 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 ha. Chu Ying seems to have heard a funny joke. After a burst of laughter said, I don't know how tall and thick. I admit that I am not as good as you, but the two people next to you will not have a full-scale body martial arts. I really want to see, you are a little trinity, how to take my first strike. The hatred is also a battle, and a blow is not a good one. He is immediately seeking other ways. Obviously, the two people beside Yi Yuan are his biggest weakness. Tang Yu is still fine, and the green child is the lamb to be slaughtered in the eyes of the enemy. How fast are you? I force you to fight against me, what is the use of your body fast? However, the next moment, his violent smile was stiff on his face, and he couldn't tell the strangeness. Because at this time, the momentum of Yi Yuan is soaring at a speed that everyone can perceive. 3 peaks. Full of vitality. 5 Yuan. 6 vitality. Yi Yuan's realm instantly broke through the bottleneck of the 3-fold vitality to the 4-fold vitality, and soared up to the end of the 6-fold vitality. Chu Ying looked at this scene, stunned, and forgot to shoot. How is this possible? Chu Ying took a breath. He suddenly thought of Yi Yuan's scene of swallowing the medicinal herbs, thinking that this would not be the effect of the remedy. Although he also heard that some medicinal drugs can enhance their strength for a short time, it is the first time that he has seen the medicinal herbs that have tripled the realm. In the heart of Chu Ying, I can't help thinking. If there is such a drug in his hand, isn't it as simple as completing a task to cut a melon? However, the reality is that a rookie who has fallen into a 4-fold realm with him has become a realm with him in the blink of an eye. Although the vitality are still not in a grade, there is no doubt that Yi Yuan does have the capital to deal with him. With the full-scale flash, Yi Yuan can't beat him. Chu Ying suddenly felt that today is very strange, the accident that this kid brought him in front of him is too much. originally complaining that this task is too simple, and at this time he cannot help but regretted receiving this task. But no matter what, the task is still to be completed, otherwise he will not be able to get the status in the ink. I am afraid it will be put into the water. Of course, Chu Ying still wants to complete the task until now, because Yi Yuan took the next 5 lines of Tong Ling Dan, and the realm finally ended up in 6 vitality. This is a realm he can accept. The eyes are slightly stunned, and the murderousness of Chu Ying firmly locks the green child. Slay a word. Chu Ying directly gave the strongest blow, and he used this shot to kill countless opponents. Killing a word is simple and straightforward, but it is arrogant. No fancy blows. The green child stood there, and there was no time to react. The sword had already arrived in front of him. The shadow of Chu Ying's mouth flashed a sneer, as if he saw the green child's fragrance, and the picture of Yi Yuan's heartache. However, when the sword of Chu Ying was about to pierce the green throat, he slammed, and then his hand holding the sword was numb, and the short sword that had never left him was shaken. A huge force came, and the whole person of the hatred was also taken out. On the occasion of 1,000 miles, Yi Yuan came to Green's side with a flash of light, but it was a first come first served. He just extended his finger and gently clicked on the short sword of Chu Ying and shook it. Absolute Yang. After a few days of practice, Yi Yuan's Yang finger has achieved a small success and reached the entry level. These levels of martial arts are naturally not so easy to achieve. Yi Yuan can reach the entry level within a few days, and it is already talented. Even the entry-level Yang index, with Yi Yuan's 6-fold realm at this time, is not affordable. The hatred fell to the ground. Wow, spit out a blood. Yi Yuan looked at Chu Ying, and coldly said, I only have 1 finger, can you escape and see your ability? At this time, Chu Ying smashed the river, but he also knew that he had run into a hard battle. This kid is simply playing pigs and eating tigers. The strength is too strong. Forced to suppress the injury, Chu Ying refused to take care of others, and the whole body's strength was madly mobilized. He wants to escape. Chu Ying can feel the killing of Yi Yuanjun. Obviously, he just said that the move to kill Lu Er completely angered Yi Yuan. Chu Ying used all his strength to get out. He could even feel that the speed is faster than ever before, and he was so fast that his body touched the perfect threshold. This discovery made him ecstatic. Must be able to escape. Must be able to escape. Chu Ying shouted in his heart, and then consciousness gradually blurred. Chapter 24 Good dog is not in the way. Looking at Chu Ying urged the body to escape, Yi Yuan raised his fingers unhurriedly and urging Yuan Li to transport the Ling Yang Zhuyang God. One pointed out that an invisible force emerged from Yi Yuan's fingertips, and it broke through the air, and instantly penetrated the heart of Chu Ying. The strength was too strong, so that Chu Ying did not find himself injured. The body still rushed out of the tens of thousands of feet along the inertia, until they lost consciousness and fell to the ground. The absolute Yang refers to the domineering. The enthusiasm of the anger is not scattered, and the lethality at a certain point is very strong. Yi Yuan is urging the strength of the 6 vitality, and the lethality is naturally not to be underestimated. Of course, the absolute Yang is not invulnerable. His biggest shortcoming is that the energy is too slow, which is why Yi Yuan will slow down when he rescued the green child. In fact, if Chu Ying is desperate to fight with Yi Yuan can't fill his full strength, but he has a chance to live. However, all the means before Yi Yuan have already let Chu Ying retired. Especially when he just flicked him, it brought great shock to the mind of Chu Ying, so he desperately wanted to escape. This escape, but just gave Yi Yuan the opportunity to power. From the beginning, Yi Yuan seemed to be careless, but in fact, step by step. He first provoked hatred with words and made his mind shake. Then show the flash, and then take the 5 elements of the panda, to break the sword, step by step to destroy the confidence of the hatred, and finally make this kill. Seemingly dull, the whole process is a step-by-step startling. Although Yi Yuan's cards are many, the strength is too weak. If he didn't take the 5 elements of Tongling, even if he tried to launch the sun, he couldn't help the enemy. Tang brother, go. Yi Yuan looked too lazy to look at the hatred on the ground, faint to Tang Yudao. Tang Yu was shocked to see Yi Yuan's attack, and he was still there, until Yi Yuan called him to return. Ah, oh, go, go. Tang Yu mechanically went to the horse, and the three continued to head toward Danwu College. Through this piece of rocky forest, the three people's vision gradually widened, and there was a huge plain in front of them. The shadows of the carved pavilions in the distance came into view. This is Danwu College. The Qin state took Wu Ligyu and attached great importance to the martial arts. However, this Danwu Academy was not established by the Qin state. The area south of the Infinity Forest is known as the Yuyun 10 countries. There are 10 countries, and Qin is only one of them. The reason why they are collectively referred to as the Yuyun 10 countries is because these 10 countries are under the jurisdiction of the Yunyunzong, and the Danwu Academy is the outer gate of the Yunyunzong. The Union sect is based on the Dan medicine and is divided into Danzong and Wuzong, so the outer gate field will be named Danwu College. When they entered the courtyard, the three were about to go to the residence, but they were stopped by a group of people. Hey, isn't this the end of the crane? Your life is really hard. When you send it back, there is already no air in the air. Now it is back and forth. The first person said yin and yang. This person is Fei Qingping, a faithful running dog of Wan Yuan. Before the predecessor was poisoned, it was compared with this guy, and the result was a death of Huang Quan. These people belong to the civilian forces in the college. At Danwu College, civilians want to get extra resources, and many people choose to climb the nobility. Unless you have the ultimate qualification, you will get the focus of the college. Good dogs don't block the way, get out. Yi Yuan is too lazy to be jealous of him. It is true to a dog. Isn't it self-destructive? You, Yi Yuan, I think you are skin and itchy. Fei Qingping, the most taboo, is that others are jealous of his dog. Just by you, Yi Yuan no expression. Oh, I haven't seen you for a few days, and I have more brains. You are a good one. Oh, how could you, have you been tripled? Fei Qingping couldn't help but take a breath. Originally the leaves at the bottom of the bed are far away, and they have risen 2 levels in a few days, and they have tripled into the vitality. Fei Qingping thought that he had read it wrong. He looked at it carefully and found that Yi Yuan really had a triple weight. This is too bad, right? Do you have a dog's eye? Have you seen it yet? Yi Yuan's words made Fei Qingping twitch again. However, at this time, Fei Qingping had already recovered from the initial shock and thought of some possibility. He naturally knows that Yi Yuan, the eldest son of Yi Yuan, is a great Dan teacher. If he does not hesitate to pay for it, it is not incomprehensible to help his son to raise the 2 realms. In fact, there are many ways to suddenly increase your strength, but at the expense of your own potential. It is said that there is a sinister practice called Tihu Ding Top, and those who are empowered can even break through the vitality and reach the spiritual environment. But the price of this kind of empowerment is that this person has no possibility of improving his strength in his life. In just a few days, Yi Yuan actually reached the triple level of strength. It must be that Yi Hang knew that his son's qualifications were not good, and that his son was bullied. He only raised him to 2 levels in a similar way. Thinking of this link, Fei Qingping sneered. Such a rookie, let alone 3-fold, is 4 or 5 is not his opponent. Fei Qingping is a 4-pronged person, a little higher than Yi Yuan. Naturally, there is no need to be afraid of him. Hey, it's good to have a good old man. Not only is it poisonous, it's not dead, even the promotion of strength has become so simple, it really is the age of fight. Fei Qingping ridiculed. Yi Yuan understood the thoughts of Fei Qingping, and naturally he would not explain it to him, but he smiled and said, yeah, I can fight it up, do you fight it? I heard that you are giving it to others. When the watchdog let you enter the Danwu Academy through the relationship, who knows that you have become a watchdog after you come in, it really is a father's business. One dog, admire. Yi Yuan learned in his predecessor's memory that Fei Qingping's father was the confidant of Wan Donghai, and he was able to enter the college after leaving the relationship of Wanjia. Otherwise, with his qualifications, he could not enter the college. Don't look at him and Tang Yu before it is generally full of vitality, but he is 2 years older than Tang Yu. It is also a civilian origin, and there is the support of thousands of resources. This Fei Qingping is only 4 elements. After the death, it is also the beginning of a spiritual environment. Maybe it is directly stuck in the Yuan. Fei Qingping's lungs were all suffocated, and Yi Yuan screamed at a dog, causing his face to be lost. Fei Qingping looked at his companion with Yu Guang. Although everyone didn't smile clearly, he could feel that everyone's face was uncomfortable, and he just didn't laugh out. "What do I want? You bite me," said. Yi Yuan extended an arm and smiled. "Come, give you a bite." Ha 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 ha, everyone couldn't help but laugh out loud. Watching everyone laughing at himself, Fei Qingping's face swelled into pig liver color. "Yi Yuan, I want to write a book of life and death to you. If you have a kind, you will pick it up." Fei Qingping pointed to Yi Yuan and said with indignation. Danwu College does not prohibit the private fight of the students, but defaults to the friction between the students. But there is one thing, you can't kill someone without the permission of the college, or you will suffer the college's anger. However, if both parties agree to set up a book of life and death, the college will not stop it, but instead will send a teaching to the scene. Yi Yuan showed a strange expression and said, "Do you really want to fight life and death?" "Afraid. If you are afraid, give me 3 heads, then say 3 words, I am a dog." Fei Qingping thought that Yi Yuan was afraid, and continued to provoke. Last time, he used this method to let Yi Yuan agree to test. Yi Yuan stretched out his ears and pretended not to hear it. He asked, "What are you talking about? Say 3, I am a dog." Fei Qingping blurted out and found it fooled when he left. Ha 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 ha. Around the audience was a burst of laughter. Fei Qingping can't wait to take 2 slaps and scream, "Yi Yuan, you don't dare to play this trick. Good dog, sincere. You Yi beat the dog and never look at the owner. Since you sent it to the door, I will call your host to see it." Yi Yuan laughed. Chapter 25 Life and Death. Is it heard? The last count of the yellow level, the person who said that the end of the Wanian crane tail and the person signed the life and death. Of course I heard that you said that this is not alive and tired. But our college has not had life or death for 2 years. This is a big news, enough for everyone to talk about for a while. Yeah, 2 years and 5 months. The last life or death was signed by the Dragon Master. At that time, he also belonged to the yellow level, but he defeated the opponents who were 2 higher than him. I am afraid that no one can think of it at the time. Can he kill the first in Wubang after 2 years? Isn't that? Long brothers have not had a sharp edge at the time. Since they killed the opponent in a life and death matchup, they have been out of control. They have passed through the ranks and rushed to the top of the list. Hey, you said, can this kid named Yi Yuan also be able to kill the opponent with weak winds? I heard that this guy only took 2 days to rise to 2 levels, actually from the vitality to the vitality, triple. Take it down. Can he compare with the Dragon Brother? The Dragon Brother is low-key at that time, but there is no food to him. Is it 2 levels? Do you not know the guy named Yi Yuan? How big is he? Backdoor entrance to the college. He is lousy, but we have a number of great Danshi Yi Heng in Qin State. Is it strange to use his means to help his son pull out the seedlings to promote the 2 levels? This kind of promotion is virtual, how can there be any fighting power? Also, I heard that the guy has been in the college for half a year. If it can be promoted, it will be upgraded in the morning and will not wait until now. It seems that in all likelihood, it is enhanced by the secret method. Hey, that guy really didn't know how to live and die. I heard that he had tried detoxification with Fei Qingping before, and the result was almost poisoned. He could rescue him from the back. This time the school came to death. You say this guy is his brain missing. According to the difference in strength, Danwu College is divided into 4 levels. Tianyuan, Zan and Huang, and Yi Yuan and Fei Qingping belong to the yellow level. Originally, the focus of the entire college was mostly on the heavenly level, and few people paid attention to the topic of the yellow level. However, this time Yi Yuan and Fei Qingping signed the life and death, but it became the big news of the entire college, which attracted great attention. Although the college defaults to competition and competition among the students, it will not allow casual life. Some students once took advantage of their family's family and killed people at Danwu College. As a result, they were killed by the college, leaving no room for it. As a result, the family could not even put a fart. Life and death are different, and the teaching will not be shot. Throughout the Danwu Academy, Everyone knows the first dragon in Wubang, but not everyone knows the last one. However, this life and death, but let Yi Yuan's popularity suddenly burst into the air, almost reached the height of the flat with the Longtang. Of course, most people sneered at Yi Yuan's brain-dead practices, as the two had just discussed. The strength of Yi Yuan's rapid advancement is also one of the focuses of discussion. However, no one thinks that this is his own practice. It must be that Yi Hang has promoted the growth of a certain secret method, and he has achieved the triple strength. Therefore, everyone's evaluation of Yi Yuan became brain-destroyed and stupid, and he rushed to see the prince. "Hey, look, isn't that Yi Yuan?" The two are talking about it, and one suddenly whispers. "Is it him? It doesn't look like the kind of brain-destroyed person. Hey, who still writes his brain on his face?" It is also true. After 3 days, there will be a life and death battle. He is not prepared well. What is this? It is estimated that knowing how to prepare is useless. The last is the next. It is impossible to go against the sky, and it is impossible to defeat the opponent who is higher than one step. I heard that Fei Qingping is 2 years old and is in the yellow class. It is already the top 10 level. No, he wants to go in the direction of the Tibetan classics. Is it a temporary hug? Hey, is the Buddha's foot so good? Hey, he was stopped. It seems to be Wang Yuan who has just entered the prefecture level. Really? You saw the girl next to Wang Yuan? Wow, that is my goddess Lu Ruoshui. If she can say a word to me, let me die, I am willing. Look at your flower. But Lu Ruoshui is really beautiful. Yi Yuan is going to the Tibetan classics. The predecessor of the best product is 2 ecstasy. The things I heard during class were smashed, and few of them could be used. Yi Yuan needed to find some martial arts to suit the scene. There are countless martial arts in Yi Yuan's hands, but there is really no such thing as a spiritual cultivation. With his predecessor's status, the martial arts of the temperament, even if it is good, how can he get his eyes? I did not expect that on the way to the Zhangjing Pavilion, it was blocked by Wang Yuan. It seems that he is waiting for himself. As for Lu Ruoshui next to Wang Yuan, Yi Yuan is no stranger to nature. A few days ago, he tried this woman and Fei Qingping. It's a coincidence, isn't this Yi Da Xiao? Why is this hot and eager to go? Reincarnation. Wang Yuan is full of smiles, and his eyes seem to be watching a dead person. Yi Yuan sneered at his unwilling attitude, and Wang Yuan was determined that Yi Yuan was dead this time, so he came over and mocked it in advance. After the battle of life and death, Yi Yuanren are dead. Where does Wang Yuan go to find this pleasure? Yi Yuan saw the way of Wang Yuan, but he was not in a hurry to go to the Tibetan pavilion. He smiled and said, "Yes, it is a reincarnation, but it is to send you to reincarnation." Wang Yuan listened with a big laugh. "Send me to reincarnation? Haha, I am standing here now, you have the ability to send me to reincarnation. You will not think that you have to go to the door and go to the evil spirits, you will be qualified to call me." What? On the side of Lu Ruoshui, he also smiled with a hand and thought that Yi Yuan was very funny. This Lu Ruo water has a fascinating state between his hands and feet, which can evoke the desire in the man's heart. The male students of Danwu College are mostly bloody, and if they are not mentally tolerant, how can they resist this natural and charming state? The predecessor is just a stupid and innocent child, and the strength is weak and explosive. Where can I stand the charm of Lu Ruoshui? At the beginning, Lu Ruoshui was only around him for a while, and the former person was deeply involved. Later, Lu Ruoshui applied a little, and his predecessor was hooked up, so that he gave his life. Wan Shishong, this Yi Shidi is also an interesting person. Ming Ming is a skeleton, but he is learning to eat swan meat. Obviously the strength is poor, but also to swollen face and fat, to fight with others, and now threaten you. You said that it's funny to laugh. Lu Ruo's water looks beautiful, but the words that are said are bitter and mean. In the past, she was led by the leaves, and she naturally played the side of me. Now Yi Yuan is about to fight with Fei Qingping. It is already a dead person. She does not need to talk to Yi Yuanshu and the snake again, and express her disdain and contempt. Chapter 26 Caught Out. Lu Ruoshui and Wang Yuan jointly appeared, and the meaning of expression has been very obvious. Before that, few people knew that the goddess at the college level had been so close to Wang Yuan. Wan Yuan brought Lu Ruoshui to come, just want to humiliate Yi Yuan, let him see that the woman she dreamed of had already gone with the dead head. He was looking forward to Yi Yuan's expression of resentment, shame and remorse, but Yi Yuan's performance disappointed him. These expressions did not appear on Yi Yuan's face. From the beginning to the end, Yi Yuan did not see Lu Ruoshui as if she was air. It is also the ignorance of Yi Yuan, which makes Lu Ruoshui angry in his heart, and his words are so vicious. Lu Ruoshui is quite confident about his appearance. According to his thoughts, Yi Yuan should give her a jealousy at this time, crying and shouting to let him not go. If it is a predecessor, maybe it will be awkward, but unfortunately Yi Yuan is not the former Yi Yuan. In the identity of Yi Yuan, what kind of beauty has not seen? It is impossible to charm him with such inferior means. Yi Yuan faintly looked at Lu Ruoshui. Swan. Do you want more? You are at most a feathered chicken, and the noble animal like the swan is really not hanging. The real arrogant woman, how can put your mind on the seduced man? When did you see the Wind Sister and other men rushing around? The goddess has his own pride, not like you. Lu Ruo's heart is very proud. In Danwu College, it has always been the existence of the stars. Where is it like a feathered chicken? Lu Ruo was so angry that Lu Mei was upside down. However, the Wind Sister in Yi Yuanko was indeed the existence she could not reach, which made her irrefutable. The name of the Wind Sister is called the Wind. It is the real arrogant woman of Danwu College. Not only the face of the country, but also the top 3 of the Danwu double list. The strength is strong, compared to the Longtang is not inferior, not a woman like Lu Ruoshui can compare. Different from Lu Ruoshui, the Wind has never been dismissed by the pursuers. It is a famous iceberg beauty of Danwu College. In contrast, Lu Ruoshui is more popular because she does not refuse to come, she is very close to the people, and she also enjoys the feeling of being sought after by everyone. Hey, dead duck mouth is hard, I will let Fei Qingping entertain you in the life and death battle. In Lu Ruoshui's view, Yi Yuan is not dismissive of himself, but knows the truth and is strong. Oh, then you don't need to worry about it. You came to me and just want to say this thing. Now that I am finished, I will not accompany you. After that, Yi Yuan passed directly from them. Who allowed you to go? Wan Yuan looked a sinking, and he was going to grab Yi Yuan when he was in shape. Who knows that he had caught an empty space, and even Yi Yuan's clothes were not touched. When I looked at Yi Yuan, he was already a few feet away, and he waved his hand against both of them, and he grew up and went to the air. Hey, that was just flashing. Wan Yuan frowned. Yes, it is indeed a flash of lightning. Lu Ruoshui's eyebrows are slightly embarrassed, apparently also shocked by Yi Yuan. It seems that this kid is really weird. My father clearly arranged the killer, but Yi Yuan has swayed into the college. I don't know if the killer is too stupid, or if this kid is really playing pigs and eating tigers. I think it should be the former. I am only a 3-powered one. Even if the flash is so powerful, I am afraid that I can't escape from the killer. Lu Ruoshui and Yi Yuan have a lot of contacts, and he still knows more about him. In her eyes, Yi Yuan is one of the waste wood. Lu Shimei is justified, but I don't know when he actually turned the flash into practice. If he had this trick, wouldn't he in Qingping's life and death be invincible? Wan Yuan has been fighting with Yi Yuan since he was a child, and he knows the most about Yi Yuan. If you want to think about it, it's more reasonable if you want Lu Ruoshui. Wan Shi brother is concerned about chaos. In my opinion, Yi Yuan can practice instant flash as just a moment of luck. The fear that he can rely on is just this trick. Otherwise, how can he rush to the Tibetan scriptures? For a moment, I didn't use all my strength to let him escape. The flash is powerful, but after all, it's just a first-class Chinese martial arts. Isn't it invincible? Lu Ruoshui has recovered from Yi Yuan's stimulation and turned into the goddess of ecstasy. Wan Yuan has been coveted for Lu Ruoshui for a long time. Seeing Lu Ruoshui so much chasing himself, he can't help but be intoxicated. He did not use all his strength just now, but he also used 70% of his skill, but still let Yi Yuan flash past. However, strength is the key to determining the outcome. After all, the body is auxiliary. Lu Ruoshui said that the flash is not a panacea, and naturally there is a way to restrain it. It's just that Yi Yuan's hand has also raised the vigilance of Wang Yuan. It seems that he has to go back and tell Fei Qingping so that he should not underestimate the enemy. It's still the mirror of Lu Shimei's heart. This time, I can't let this kid live anyway. It seems that we have to go back and prepare a few cards for Qingping. After saying that Yi Yuan got rid of the two people, he went straight to the Tibetan classical court. For the exposure of the flash, Yi Yuan does not mind. This is not his dependence, and he has only shown the realm of Dacheng. Yi Yuan's biggest reliance on nature is the absolute yang, but this martial art can't be displayed in front of outsiders, otherwise it will cause a lot of trouble, so he came to the Tibetan classics to choose martial arts. The martial arts in the Tibetan classical court are not so deep, and the Union sect will not put the high martial arts into the secular world, but these martial arts are enough for Yi Yuan. Senior brother, I want to enter the Tibetan classics to choose two martial arts. Yi Yuan handed his identity token to the guardian who was on duty. The value of defending the Tibetan classics is the brother of the prefecture, named Zhao Chunyang. He saw Yi Yuan, the token that marked the yellow identity, and his eyes were stunned. This identity token is specially made by Danwu Academy and is a symbol of the identity of the student. With a little injection, you can check the identity of the person holding the token. Yi Yuan. Zhao Chunyang felt that he had heard the name before, and thought for a while and suddenly realized, you are the penultimate Yi Yuan of the college. Yi Yuan smiled and said, if there is no second leaf, it is down. For the penultimate title, Yi Yuan does not care, it is already a thing of the past. When Zhao Chunyang heard it, he came to the interest and handed the token back to Yi Yuan. He took him and curiously said, you are now the college's big red man. The last one is dare to sign the death of others. What do you think? Yi Yuan did not reject the meaning of thousands of miles away. He smiled and said, everyone is riding on my head. Can I not be a tortoise? Haha, that is also true, but your strength, this Zhao Chunyang is an undisciplined person, not afraid of others. Oh, so I came to choose martial arts. It's not good to have a gun that is not fast. It's a good time, but for 3 days, is it too short? This is also a no-brainer. I must have known that my brothers have been negligent in practice before, so that the foundation is too bad. Even if there are only 3 days, is it better than nothing? Zhao Chunyang once again looked at Yi Yuan, and suddenly smiled. It's a bit interesting, you seem to be somewhat different from the rumors. Go in, you have an hour. Thank you brother. Zhao Chunyang patted Yi Yuan's shoulder and smiled and said, when you choose, I will cheer you up. Chapter 27 Stack of Waves. The Tibetan Buddhist scriptures of Danwu College is divided into 3 layers. The second floor is open to the spirit environment. Yi Yuan is naturally not eligible to enter. The first layer of collection is a first-order martial arts, just right for Yi Yuan. This first layer is full of bookshelves, there are exercises, there are martial arts, there are also books on the medicinal herbs, all sorts of categories, all-encompassing. These books are all extensions, and the original books are naturally collected in the Yunyanzong headquarters. In terms of practice, Yi Yuan has cultivated the Lingyang Juyang God, naturally no longer need to cultivate others. These books on medicinal herbs are even more difficult for Yi Yuan to get started, and they are automatically filtered by him. Only one order martial arts is most useful for Yi Hao. Yi Yuan came to the area where martial arts books were stored and began to find martial arts that suit him. Pick up a copy of the book, which reads, Fire Palm, is a first-class medium-grade fire martial arts. Looking at the contents inside, Yi Yuan shook his head. This kind of martial arts is too shallow, it is not difficult for him, and his power is too weak. Although the book is blowing in the sky, how can you see these martial arts with Yi Yuan's vision? Putting Flame Palm back to the bookshelf, Yi Yuan has turned over a few martial arts, basically with Fire Palm, is a level of martial arts, flashy. Time passed by, Yi Yuan also looked at dozens of books, but none of them could get his eyes. Yi Yuan couldn't help but sigh that this Yunyanzong is really a small family, using these big road goods to fill the facade. However, if you think about it, you will be relieved. The martial arts and martial arts are the foundation of the Zongmen school. How can the really important exercises be casually placed in the world? Yi Yuan knows that he can't find the martial arts he wants on this shelf, so he goes deeper. The martial arts on this piece of bookshelf is obviously much less, but the quality is on a level, basically reaching the first order top grade. Yi Yuan looked at a few books and still did not meet the satisfaction. He is not idle and bored, but wants to see if there are any highlights in these martial arts. For Yi Yuan, there is not much difference between the first order middle product and the first order best. A lower grade is not necessarily a good martial art. A higher grade may not necessarily be a good martial art. Take the Flash, it is only a first-class Chinese martial arts, but this martial art is somewhat different, so Yi Yuan explored it himself. Yi Yuan just saw the martial art of flashing light. After a little look at it, I know that the eyes of the people who created this method are still too low. The ones that have been changed have been much stronger than the ones in the book. To study nature is useless. Going inside, there are no books on the bookshelf, but some jade slips are scattered. Yi Yuan knows that these are the essence of one layer. High-level martial arts, paper cannot be carried, can only be recorded or copied with jade. Yi Yuan inspected a few jade slips with Yuan Li. These martial arts are first-class martial arts, but they are already very rare. Any one of these jade slips is a value for money thing in the outside world. After all, in Qin State, the largest one is the group of the Yuan dynasty, and most of them cultivated are the products of the lower or middle-class martial arts. A top-grade martial arts jade is a dream for them, and they can immediately take their strengths to the next level. However, Yi Yuan was interested in these first-order martial arts. After watching it, he put it back. Yi Yuan has already reached the deepest level of the first floor. If he can't find satisfactory martial arts, he can only retreat to the next and choose these top martial arts. The last bookcase has only 3 jade slips on it. Obviously, these 3 jade slips are not the same as other jade slips. Yi Yuan picked up the first jade slip and urged it into Yuan Li. The information of Yu Jian was reflected in his mind. Yu Qian Ji is a body martial arts. Trained to Dacheng, you can shrink into inches, and you can walk thousands of feet in an instant. Somewhat, Yi Yuan inspected the information of Yu Qian Ji, which has its own unique features. Compared to the Flash, Yu Qian Ji has a better movement on the straight line, and it is quite useful for sneak attack or escape. This body martial arts is close to the first order best. Putting Yu Qian Ji back to the bookshelf, Yi Yuan picked up the second jade slip, which is an extremely rare lay martial art. It is very difficult to practice, and the grade is equivalent to Yu Qian Ji. Difficult to return, but it did not cause Yi Yuan's interest. Pick up the third jade slip to investigate. Well, the wave of the waves, the lack of martial arts, estimated at least in the third order or more, but the damage is too powerful. Is it classified as the first-class product? Yi Yuan was attracted by the introduction on Yu Jian. It is not because of the high grade of this method. The third-order martial arts is not too high-level martial arts for Yi Yuan. What really attracted him is that this martial art is a martial art that pays attention to the skills. If it is practiced, it can be issued several times, even dozens of times its own power, and its power is considerable. The introduction on this jade slip should be left by Yu Yunzong or the powerful figure of Danwu Academy. However, with Yi Yuan's eyesight, it can be seen that the order of this method may be far more than 3 orders. It's it. The person who created this martial art is really a genius. If you put such power skills to the limit, the more orderly fighting is as simple as eating and drinking. Yi Yuan praised. Of course, Yi Yuan also knows that such martial arts will become more difficult to upgrade later, and its difficulty will increase geometrically. In short, double the power manufacturing skills are easy to master, but the difficulty is twice as big, and later it becomes 4 times, 8 times or even 16 times. The more horrible it is, the more difficult it is. More and more exaggerated. Even so, this is a very powerful martial art, but unfortunately the damage is too great. Well, you choose this martial arts. Zhao Chunyang was very surprised to see the martial arts chosen by Yi Yuan. Not bad. Yi Yuan has long known that Zhao Chunyang will be surprised. But, This martial art is powerful, but it is incomplete. Zhao Chunyang advised. I know, but this martial art looks very powerful. It will be used first and will be said in the future. Yi Yuan laughed. But it is not only incomplete, but also very difficult to practice. Long Tang brother, do you know? He also practiced this practice, and finally gave up. This practice looks very powerful, but it is not thankful. 3 days' time. You are smart, but it is just a heavy wave, it is useless to the opponent. Zhao Chunyang has actually said that it is very subtle. In his view, Yi Yuan is spending a month, and may not be able to practice a heavy wave. What is the concept of a heavy wave? Just double the power, it can't make up for the gap between Yi Yuan and Fei Qingping. Rather than doing this, it is better to practice practical martial arts. Yi Yuan had a good sense of this Zhao Chunyang. At least he didn't look at his own jokes like everyone else, so he smiled and said, "Thank you for your brother's concern, but I have my own plans. As for the life and death battle after 3 days, I think I should cope with it." Well, since you insist on doing this, I don't want to persuade you anymore. I am so self-sufficient. Zhao Chunyang shook his head and sighed. Chapter 28 Prepare for each. A secret place in Danwu College, the two were whispering. Qingping, what do you think about yourself and Yi Yuan's life and death battle? What else can you think? Kill him. This kid is really big. I didn't get angry when I sent it back last time. Who knows that after a few days, I actually jumped up and down. This time I will never give him another chance. Fei Qingping's discourse is full of contempt and is very disdainful to Yi Yuan. He and Wan Yuan have been playing from a young age to a big one. They are also very familiar with Yi Yuan's nature and strength. There is no burden on killing Yi Yuan in the battle of life and death. Fei Qingping felt very strange about Wan Yuan's problem. He couldn't help but ask, "When you listen to the meaning of this, you don't think I will lose to him in this battle?" Wan Yuan frowned. "I won't be able to lose to him. I just think that Yi Yuan is a bit weird this time. It seems that, it's not the same as before. Hey, what am I supposed to be? He is certainly not the same. It is not that he has raised 2 small realms, but I think he will be like this in his life, haha." Although Fei Qingping is 2 years older than Wan Yuan, he has always respected Wan Yuan. Seeing that Fei Qingping was so contemptuous of Yi Yuan, Wan Yuan felt very uncomfortable and wanted to rebuke him, but he felt that Fei Qingping's thoughts were not wrong. Such a dirty mud cannot help the wall, can you turn over the sky? Although Fei Qingping does not have any top qualifications, but he is a veteran of the old-fashioned situation, and the distance from the 5-dimensional is only 1 step away. The tripleness of vitality and the tripleness of vitality are not at all in a grade, so Fei Qingping has the capital to despise Yi Yuan. This small step is not so good. Danwu College is an elite college. Anyone here can get more and more battles in the world. The resources they enjoy, the martial arts they learn, and the teachings of famous teachers are not comparable to those of the outside world. However, at Danwu College, the more combat is a very difficult thing, unless it is really qualified. If Longtang or the wind is only 3-fold, Wan Yuan has no doubt that they can defeat Fei Qingping. But if it is replaced by Yi Yuan, killing Wan Yuan does not believe it. Because he knows too much about Yi Yuan. Silence for a while, Wan Yuan still shook his head. Qingping, this life and death war can only be won without defeat. Even if Yi Yuan is a mouse, you must use all efforts to defeat him. Do not despise him, understand? Seeing Fei Qingping still looks disdainful, Wan Yuan finally fired. If you still return this attitude, I will destroy you first. This war is not on your behalf, but on behalf of me, representative. I am drunk upstairs. If you lose to Yi Yuan, you let me and I lick this face. Wan Yuan's roaring made Fei Qingping a slap in the face, and his mind could not turn around for a moment. But one thing is very obvious, that is, Wan Yuan is really angry. Wan Yuan actually turned to Yi Yuan so much, this is something that has never happened before. I know, I will do my best to destroy him. Feeling the anger of Wan Yuan, Fei Qingping did not dare to arrogant, and he should bear it. Wan Yuan sighed and said, Qingping, I know that you are very disdainful to Yi Yuan. Actually, why am I not? But when he returned to college this time, I always felt a little weird. Weird? How a weird law? Was said by Wan Yuan. Fei Qingping could not help but be curious. He knows that although Wan Yuan is 2 years younger, he is very cautious and safe in his work, and he is quite a father. Regardless of his qualifications or his mind, Fei Qingping was too far away from Wan Yuan, so he was convinced to start the shift. I went to find him today, ready to frustrate his spirit and give him some embarrassment. But I used 7 successes, but I didn't catch him. This kid didn't know when. He actually practiced to flash, and already trained to Dacheng. What? Instant flash? Dacheng? This? How is it possible? Fei Qingping was shocked. Of course he knew what the flash of the Dacheng level meant, meaning that Yi Yuan was invincible. In this way, Wan Yuan's warning is not an all-in-one. It seems to confirm the match between Yi Yuan and Yi Yuan. After a long silence, Wan Yuan nodded and said, "Yes, it is a flash of big grade. This is too shameless. How can he learn such an esoteric footwork? Wouldn't it be a blessing?" Fei Qingping suddenly became incoherent. Wan Yuan Shen said, "Lucky. You were lucky enough to show me a big flash of flash." Quote. In fact, he went back to the Imperial City this time and made a lot of things. He even went to the Drunk Star building to kick the pavilion. His father took him no way. On the way back, my father arranged the killer of the ink killing. As a result, Yi Yuan was safe. I arrived at the college. So I think that Yi Yuan's return this time is very weird. What should I do? Fei Qingping was completely panicked. Wan Yuan patted his shoulder and said slowly, "Relax, even if he is a little weird, the gap between the strengths of you is irreparable. However, you can't take it lightly in these 3 days, you have to use all the time." Listening to Wan Yuan saying that Fei Qingping really did not dare to take it lightly. This battle is a life and death battle. It must be divided into births and deaths. Fei Qingping does not want to take his own life to make jokes. "Thousands, you say, what should I do? I will listen to you." Wan Yuan saw that he really valued it and took out a bottle of medicinal herbs in front of the Fiqing plane. "This is my father's refining Juyuan Dan, which is 50% more efficient than Yuanli Dan. You will use these 3 days. These medicinal herbs are used to enhance their strength, so it is necessary to break through the 5 vitality." Fei Qingping's eyes brightened, and if he could break through the 5-fold vitality, his chances of winning would increase greatly. As Wan Yuan said, the gap in strength is irreparable, and the 5-fold vitality is triple-powered. He really has no reason to lose. When Fei Qingping was in the end, he was grateful. "Thank you for your cultivation." Wan Yuan nodded and accepted it. He continued, "In addition, in the past 3 days, you have to use all your thoughts on the cultivation of the scorpion. Use it to restrain the flash, you will be invincible. In the practice room of Danwu College, Yi Yuan stood quietly, his eyes closed, as if he were asleep. Since watching Yu Jian, Yi Yuan has been standing here for nearly an hour. Suddenly, Yi Yuan opened his eyes. "Take the boxing, then take the palm. The waves are in the palm of your hand, a wave." A gust of wind came out, and a slap in the air, a piece of meat smashed on the wall. The wall was slammed into the ground, but it recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. Yi Yuan looked at the wall and shook his head. This stack of waves is really difficult to practice. No wonder Zhao brother advised me to give up. I have used an hour to adjust the strength of the body. This palm has not produced a heavy wave effect. Quote, Yi Yuan sighs here. If he is seen by Zhao Chunyang, he will definitely be shocked by the chin, and then he will not know what to do. You must know that when Longtang practiced this martial art, a heavy wave was also practiced 1 month later. Although Yi Yuan has not yet practiced, it is not far from completing a wave, and he only used 1 hour. Come again. Yi Yuan did not feel discouraged, and again operated the body in accordance with the original luck method. Chapter 29 Bet. The so-called wave of waves, in fact, is to use the power of the human body to form a resonance with the external forces of the heavens and the earth, and to use the amplitude to hurt the enemy's martial arts. It's like putting a stone in the water and then creating ripples that expand outward. It's simple to say, but it's hard to get to the sky. Heaven and earth only is the existence of emptiness. To create resonance, We must have a profound understanding of the power of heaven and earth. For the military, the cultivation of Yuanli is like instinct, but it is only in accordance with the corresponding exercises. Knowing it, I don't know why. Although every warrior has cultivated Yuanli, let them say what Yuanli is, I am afraid no one can say it. As the realm is getting higher and higher, the military will further deepen its understanding of Yuanli. When you are ignorant of Yuanli, you want to practice a wave of waves, you can only slowly learn through the practice, which is why this method is so difficult to practice. Yi Yuan has a very high realm in his previous life, and he has a very high attainment in the medicinal herbs. Therefore, it is much simpler to practice this method. Slowly lift the right palm, a faint yellow light condenses from the palm of the leaf, forming a small vortex. When a palm is emitted, the pale yellow light spreads like a water pattern, and a layer of halo is swayed. Boom! The wall was deeply sunken in, deeper than the recess. The waves are in the palm of your hand, a wave. Yi Yuan showed up for the second time. Oh, this is the feeling. However, it is not very stable, the casting time is also a little longer, and more practice is needed. Yi Yuan said to himself. 3 days have passed. This morning, the battlefield was surrounded by water. After 3 days of fermentation, Yi Yuan and Fei Qingping's life and death battles are almost universally known at Danwu College. The world has never been lacking in people who watch the fun, everywhere. Although the two sides of the life and death battle are only two small people, since it is a life and death battle, then one party will die, how can such a lively experience be missed? After all, at Danwu College, there have been no life or death battles in more than 2 years. The battle for life and death has not yet begun, and everyone is talking about it in groups of 3. Guess which side will win? The other person looked at him like an idiot. Are you funny? 3 powered and 4 powered, what's the guess? Do you think that Yi Yuan is a dragon brother? Oh, this is not allowed. Maybe there is something strange about Yi Yuan. Can you not know that he has been retreating in the past few days? Maybe this time, he is already alive. What about the weight? The previous person did not care, smirked. His words were once again despised. What is the use of the temporary Buddha? What is the use? The retreat is not only Yi Yuan, but Fei Qingping has also been closed for 3 days. I heard that Fei Qingping has been stuck in the 4-year-old, this time said it is not allowed to directly break through the 5-fold vitality, and that Yi Yuan is dead. This is not necessarily. I heard that Yi Yuan did not know when to learn the flash, and it was still a big grade, which is almost invincible. Flashing. What is the use? Attack slag, realm slag, is he always using flash? To the end of the exhaustion, isn't it being killed? Not to mention, the flash is powerful, but not invincible. Is it good? I guess, Yi Yuan's 3-day retreat is to make up for the short board. The realm is difficult to upgrade in a short period of time, and may be practicing what powerful martial arts. I heard that the first 2 days Yi Yuan went to the Tibetan Buddhist scriptures, right? Yes, the first 2 days are not exactly the value of Zhao's brother. Zhao Shishong, Yi Yuan, what martial arts did he choose? Zhao Chunyang, who is listening to the strength analysis and comparison, did not expect the topic to suddenly wander around himself. When they asked them to ask, they said directly, it is, the waves of the waves. Hey, I said it. This Yi Yuan is not reliable. If you choose something bad, you have to choose this martial art. Even Lian Long's brother spent a month to practice a wave. Yi Yuan will not be confident. Is it stronger than the brothers of Belong? Even if he is stronger than the dragon brother, how long does he use to practice a heavy wave? Half a month, 10 days, 7 days, ha ha ha. The more people say, the more funny they are, the bigger they can't help laughed. Hey, is this martial art? I hope he can create a miracle, and an upset will kill Fei Qingping. It seems that I think more. This life and death war is estimated to be nothing to look at, and Yi Yuan is dead. It is. I haven't said anything before, you don't believe it. This Yi Yuan is a big slap. It's hard to pull out 2 realms by his father. What kind of combat power can I have? If it's not a life and death battle, I'm too lazy to look at it. Guess the leaf. How many moves have you been killed by Fei Qingping? This, 20 strokes. This person is somewhat uncertain. 20 strokes. Do you want more? Up to 5 strokes. Zhao Shishong, what do you think? The man asked Zhao Chunyang again. Oh, I am not sure about this, but I think Yi Yuan may have some chances. Zhao Chunyang replied. I don't know why. After I contacted Yi Yuan that day, Zhao Chunyang always thought what would happen. But all the signs show that Yi Yuan is impossible to win. Zhao Chunyang does not know why he feels this way. The man thought he had got it wrong. He was about to speak, and another voice was ringing behind him. 10 tricks, Yi Shidi 1. This voice was not concealed, and many people around it heard it. Hey, the sound is like detonating a bomb, and everyone around them looks at it. Prior to this, everyone's remarks were one-sided, and it was believed that Yi Yuan could not win, as the two just predicted that Yi Yuan had lost a few moves. So this sound can be said to be very different, so that all the discussions have stopped. Tang Yu, are you okay? Someone recognized the coming person, and it was with Tang Yuan that he returned to Tang Yu of Danwu College. There is a little girl beside him, it is Green Child. Yeah, Tang Yu, I heard that you have recently been very close to the second goods. Is it because of this that you have become two? Ha ha ha. The things that Tang Yu and Yi Yuan came back together naturally couldn't hold back other people, and they were smashed out in the past few days. Tang Yu's faint eyes swept over the crowd and sneered. 100 yuan, Dan, who dares to gamble? Tang Yu's words made everyone fall silent again, but everyone's eyes were more like watching a fool. Tang Yu, are you not stupid? Less nonsense. I lost 100 yuan for each of you. I want each of you to pay me 100 yuan. Dan, dare to shut me up if you dare. Tang Yu at this time domineering side leakage. Sure enough, he said this, many people immediately shut up. 100 yuan is not a small number, it is almost their use for 3 months. Although many people don't care, but most people have a few months of pain. Gambling, who is still afraid of you? But there are at least hundreds of people here, can you afford to lose? At this time, people who have a good relationship with Wang Yuan naturally can't stand it, and some people immediately jumped out. Tang Yu sneered and took out a bottle of remedy. Super product is arrogant. Oh, all is super powerful. Dan. The man was stunned. The value of a super product is enough to match 10 ordinary top grades. These medicinal herbs were refining before Yi Yuan's retreat. He had already expected this scene and planned to use it to make a fortune. I bet you. Everyone looked at the sound and saw that Wang Yuan led Lu Ruishui and Fei Qingping. Chapter 30. Let you 3 strokes. I will gamble with you. Wang Yuan appeared with a huge momentum, and Tang Yu was a little breathless. Good. Tang Yu is also unambiguous and directly responded. Since you want to gamble, let's play bigger. Wang Yuan looked at Tang Yu's sneer, and it made people feel like they were guilty. How to play? Tang Yu bit his teeth. 1,000. The best yuan. Dan. How? Dare not play. Wang Yuan saw Tang Yu's face, more and more refreshed. Tang Yu seems to be shocked by this number, and it is difficult to see. Yi Yuan is a little bit worse, but his father, Yi Hang, is a great Dan teacher who everyone admires. Wouldn't it be impossible to get this talented Dan? Wang Yuan saw Tang Yu's face, and he was even more proud. Good. 1,000 is 1,000. Is it still? I am afraid of you. Tang Yu bit his teeth. Ha ha ha, bold enough. You all can hear it. If someone repays the bill, then we all go to the medicine incense to find Yi Hang. Wang Yuan loudly. Many people saw Tang Yu's expression and added a little confidence to the air. I also gamble, 100 top grades. I am also betting. I am also gambling. When I heard Yi Hang's name, everyone would not worry about Yi Yuan's reluctance, and they all joined the ranks of gambling. Looking for someone to have a testimony, and participating in gambling have signed and painted on it, and this matter has been finalized. Looking at these people signing their names, Tang Yu's heart was happy. Our Yi Shidi is awesome, these are a big head. After the practice, there is no shortage of vitality, how much is there? Tang Yu thought in his heart. Others don't know. Tang Yu can see Yi Yuan's 3-dimensional repairs, and he will kill a 7-powered killer. How could he lose to Fei Qingping's small role? Not everyone has the courage to participate in this gamble, and the number of people who signed the painting was only more than 200. Even so, This is a huge amount of energy. If Yi Yuan really loses, this is definitely a great blow to Yao Shangge. But they estimate that there is no such opportunity. Especially Wan Yuan, this time it is necessary to lose the wife and the soldiers. After the tossing was completed, the weather was not early, and Fei Qingping slowly entered the battlefield. Hey, Fei Qingping is actually 5 yuan. It's really, this leaf is really dead. Haha, I just made a big profit on the 100-year-old dandy. In the same environment, the gap between a realm has already determined everything, so everyone is not optimistic about Yi Yuan. If we say that these students still have a glimpse of Yi Yuan, after seeing Fei Qingping's 5-fold vitality, everyone has no luck in the last trace. He heard a one-sided paradox in his ears. Fei Qingping was also very refreshing, and the hidden worry in his heart had been thrown into the clouds. Fei Qingping has always followed the back of Wan Yuan's ass. He can't think of it. One day he can become the focus of everyone's attention. After today, it is estimated that I will receive a lot of love letters from girls. Fei Qingping thought in his heart. During these 3 days, Fei Qingping did not dare to slack off. First, it took a day to break through the bottleneck. The effect of Juyuan Dan was surprisingly good, and he was successfully promoted into 5 strengths. Then he retired and practiced Shaoyan, although the time was tight, and under the guidance of Wan Yuan, it was a small success. Under such circumstances, Fei Qingping could not find a chance to lose. When is it? Why is Yi Yuan still not coming? I don't think I dare to come, run the road. Ha ha ha. It's better to lose people than to lose your life. Anyway, it's coming to death. Go back and look for him to shelter, at least to save your life. Time is not early, everyone is waiting for some impatience. In this case, everyone feels that Yi Yuan is afraid to come. A secret stand in the fighting arena, 2 17-year-old teenagers held hands. A domineering cloud, a cynical. I can't think of the first place in the martial arts, and even condescend to see such a small fight. The cynicism of the person who saw the arrival, could not help but reveal the color of the accident. Wubang first. This domineering Lingyun is actually the first person of the legendary Danwu Academy Longtang. For the other party's ridicule, Longtang did not take care of it. He knew that the person in front of him did not seem to adjust, but he was an extremely difficult opponent. You are not coming to the second place, Longtang said lightly. This cynical person is actually the second left of Wubang. If there are other students here, they will be shocked. Wubang's first and second appearances simultaneously focused on a duel between rookies, which is incredible. Haha, I can't stay in this second, the wind sister can bite in the back, the next time the battle of Wubang, this second is afraid to change hands. Left does not return to a helpless look. Longtang is undecided about this. He knows that the strength of the left is not so good. Even if you are yourself, be careful when facing him. It's not just the two of us, Su Yishan, Shu Qingfeng, those guys have come, in the opposite stands. After all, there have been no life and death fights in the past 2 years, even if it is only 2 rookies, it is not surprising to attract everyone. I thought that we were not rookies in the past. Longtang said lightly. Hey, that's it, who isn't coming from the rookie? But the guy in Su Yishan and Wan Yuan are wearing a pair of pants. Is he looking at the joke? After all, Su Jia and Yao Shangge would have dealt with it. The son of Yi Hang was killed, and his temper will surely gloat. Left does not seem to know the pattern of the imperial city. It's not my business, Longtang said lightly. Hey, I know your virtue. I know that you are coming today to see if you can't practice the wave the waves. Will you be trained by a rookie, right? I know very well about Longtang and directly tell the purpose of Longtang. Longtang did not deny it, nodded and said, when the wave of the wave is the martial arts, it is the most difficult to practice and the most powerful martial art. I have never dared to touch it in these years. I want to see it. This Yi Yuan is coming to be funny, or is it really sure to practice floating waves? The left does not blame and swears. I think you are thinking more. It takes a month for you to practice the first weight. How can Yi Yuan's tail crane be practiced? Even if he practiced, is there a fart for a heavy wave? He is worse than Fei Qingping's 2 realms. Maybe. Longtang was too lazy to argue with the left and faintly replied. Hey, what is your attitude? Don't you have to wear a cool look all day? Quote, I don't think you can see it. Yi Yuan's kid is estimated to have ran. It hasn't appeared yet. The left is not a slap in the face, but Longtang is too lazy to take care of it. Let's let one let. At this moment, Yi Yuan shouted at the door and he was blocked from entering. Yi Yuan, he is here. He actually dared to come. Let him get the road, don't delay me to collect the money. In a burst of laughter, everyone gave Yi Yuan a way. Yi Yuan did not directly enter the battlefield, but came to Tang Yu, and asked the thief, "Is it all done?" Tang Yu smiled and said, "Yi Shidi is relieved, fortunately not to be insulted." Haha, that's good, then it's good. After saying that, Yi Yuan raised his arms high, he arched the archway in the air. Thank you for the brothers and sisters who gave Yuan Liang. The younger brother thanked him, and he smiled. Everyone is looking at each other. I don't know what Yi Yuan is playing. Is it hard to practice his brain? Yi Yuan ignored all the strange eyes of everyone. To Tang Yudao. Tang brothers, the list cannot be lost. After the end of the fight, I have to go to the door to ask. After that, Yi Yuan took a step across the battlefield. Fei Qingping looked at Yi Yuan's treasure, and his face sneered. The life is almost gone, do you dare to be angry? Yi Yuan smiled and said, Fei Qingping, have you been absent? Anyway, my life is almost gone, don't you take more. Reassured, I have already taken you to death. Now, I will send you to the west. Fei Qingping is full of vitality and wants to take the initiative. Oh, the momentum is good. Oh, it's all 5 yuan. Yi Yuan's face showed a strange color. Fei Qingping saw Yi Yuan discolored, and could not help but smug. Hey. Good brothers, this way, I will let you make 3 moves, make a move. Yi Yuan's face showed a happy color, and he said, is this really true? Nature is true, that's great. Yi Yuan smiled and said to the surrounding, you have heard it, it is he who said that he made me 3 tricks. Chapter 31 Surprised. This guy is really a pig. Hearing Fei Qingping's arrogance in the field, Wan Yuan's anger was gnashing his teeth. In the past few days, he has told the guy many times that he should not be taken lightly. As a result, the strength of this guy is brought up, and the fault of the enemy is rising again. Wan Yuan and Fei Qingping are different. He also looks down on Yi Yuan. However, if he is on the court, he will never put any eulogy like, let you make 3 moves, but use all efforts to defeat Yi Yuan. On the side of Lu Ruishui, he smiled and said, Wan Shishong is not angry, Fei Qingping is arrogant, but he also has arrogant capital. The 5-fold vitality is triple-powered. How can he not defeat him? Even if you make 3 moves, it doesn't matter. Lu Ruishui said this, Wan Yuan is not good enough to study it, but I want to go back and think that he must look good. Let Lu Shimei laugh. Just this is a life and death battle. Qingping shouldn't be so big, but I think that Yi Yuan can't turn the waves. Wan Yuan shook his head and smiled. That is of course. Wan Shishong has helped the younger brothers to retreat in the past few days, and there is an overwhelming advantage in the realm. I don't think there is any problem. I am so funny that Yi Yuan is still playing there, it seems so much. The morale of the brothers and sisters is already his same. From this point of view, he and the former Yi Yuan are no different. Lu Ruishui's words with a touch of grievances. Oh, that's true. It may be that I am too cautious, but it seems that it is more in line with Yi Yuan's character. When Lu Ruishui said this, Wan Yuan also came back to God. I think about Yi Yuan's move just now, but I don't know how to live and die. However, this is the last time. In the field, a middle-aged man in black clothes stepped in. This is the teaching of the life and death battle, named Hu Yanyang. Hu Yanyang faintly looked at the two, a faceless expression. It seems that the battle for life and death is not in my heart. Since both of you have arrived, the battle between life and death begins now. Life and death, life and death. Start. After that, Hu Yanyang directly retired. Yi Yuan is now wearing a white uniform, standing there is quite a bit of a heroic taste. It's just that this handsome appearance is really disproportionate to his strength, so that everyone can't feel the weirdness. Hey, is the 3 tricks you said, I can't fight back when I hit it. Yi Yuan suddenly grinned. Fei Qingping sneered. Is it by you? Hey, don't you know if you tried it? I am coming. Almost just finished. Yi Yuan's figure has come to the plane of Feiqing. The waves are in the palm of your hand, a wave. Boom. Fei Qingping's body flew out like a cannonball and fell heavily on the ground. Silence. Dead in silence. Everyone is incredulously watching Yi Yuan in the battlefield, not knowing what happened just now. No, to be exact, they are not convinced of the facts they see in their eyes. How could it be so fast? No, what kind of moves did he use? Stacking waves. Has he really practiced? How can this be? That was just the waves of the waves. In the hidden stands, the cynicism of the left face has disappeared, and it was shocked. His voice is like asking Longtang, and he is talking to himself. Longtang's face was also full of shocks at this time, but he still replied, "It's good, it's a wave of waves." But, didn't he practice for 3 days? Left does not feel that his brain is not enough. In 3 days, I practiced a wave of waves and waves. Can I say that this leaf is more enchanting than the Longtang in front of me? But, even if Yi Yuan is more enchanting than Longtang, it will not be practiced in 3 days. Longtang used for a month, and Yi Yuan only used 3 days. The time used by Longtang was 10 times that of Yi Yuan. Is this too shocking, people? Longtang did not know what happened, but no one in Danwu College was more familiar with the martial arts than him. Yi Yuan's use just now is definitely a real wave. If Yi Yuan is watching the jade for the first time this time, he should be trained within 3 days. Longtang's words revealed very complicated emotions. I'm obviously aware of this, and I'm saying, what do you mean by, has he practiced before? This time it's just a cover-up. If that's the case, that's okay. The left does not return to the more I think it is the case. The iconic smile on the face reappears, but it is still somewhat reluctant. I said, how can someone be more abnormal than you? And it is abnormal to this extent. Longtang shook his head and said faintly, I didn't say that, but I made a hypothesis. In fact, I believe that he is the first to see Yujian. Left no return. On the court, Hu Yanyang's eyes, which had been very indifferent, flashed a glimmer of light. He is also amazed at Yi Yuan's attack, but he feels that the amazing place is not the wave of the waves, but Yi Yuan's body. Yi Yuan showed a flash of light before, so everyone is no stranger to his body, but everyone's perception of him is still at the level of greatness. Just now, Yi Yuan's flash of the show is absolutely perfect. Yi Yuan had no residual image of the move, so he passed the eyes and ears of all the students. The afterimage is a sign of instant flashing to a full level, but it does not mean that a full-scale flash will definitely produce afterimages. The use of the wonderful, one heart. This is the true meaning of perfect martial arts. Coincidentally, Hu Yanyang also worked very **** the flashing light in the same year. He is one of the few people who will practice this practice to a perfect level. Although he later practiced higher-level martial arts, the flash was the most familiar to him. However, just now, he clearly felt that the flash of Yi Yuan's display was somewhat different, but he couldn't tell the details. But there is no doubt that Yi Yuan's understanding of this practice is still above him. This kid is not easy. Hu Yanyang, who was originally indifferent to this life and death, is faintly looking forward to it. This idiot. I said earlier that he should not underestimate the enemy. Wang Yuan on the stands gnashed his teeth. Wang Yuan did not expect that Yi Yuan really practiced a wave of waves. What happened to this guy? Only 3 days. What Long brothers can do in a month, Yi Yuan actually made it in only 3 days. Is this really the Yi Yuan I know? Do not worry, Wan Shishong, Fei Shidi is only a light enemy. Even if Yi Yuan practiced a wave of waves, it would not win the feat. Lu Ruishui is still full of confidence. Wang Yuan nodded, and of course he knew that this attack could not cause real harm to Fei Qingping. Is it a light enemy? Even if it is not underestimating the enemy, I am afraid I can't avoid it. Hu Yanyang is not far from Wang Yuan, and his conversation with Lu Ruishui is in the ear, and his heart is so evaluated. Chapter 32 Violent. Hey, it's enough to lie down, there are still 2 tricks to let it go, you won't be ruined. Yi Yuan patted the palm of his hand and looked helpless. Cough and cough. Fei Qingping did not breathe for a long time. Just the palm of his hand was in the middle of the chest, and he directly beat him. If it wasn't for the last time, the Yuanli shield was shipped, and it was really a dip in the gutter. The reason why the 4 elements of the vitality is much stronger than the 3 elements of the vitality is not only because the Yuanli is much thicker, but also because it can support the Yuanli shield after the 4-fold vitality, so that its defense power is greatly increased. After the triple attack, the damage to the opponent will be reduced a lot. Small, little bastard. Fei Qingping rubbed his chest and struggled to stand up. Just standing still, Yi Yuan went to the palm of his hand. Boom. Fei Qingping was once again beaten out and rolled out on the ground. I really owe it. There is a kind of you to try again. Yi Yuan condensed a smile, cold and cold. Cough. Oh, what about you? Small, little miscellaneous. Boom. One sentence has not yet finished. Yi Yuan is a palm printed on Fei Qingping's chest. I admire your courage. Come, and then swear. Yi Yuan's words are getting colder and colder. Cough cough. 3 strokes have passed, you are going to die. Small miscellaneous. Boom. Another hand. It was only this palm in the middle of the door, although there was a weakening away from the shield, Fei Qingping's face was still slightly swollen. Small. Boom. Hey, comma. Yi Yuan's palm was printed on Fei Qingping's face. Fei Qingping stood up again and flew out again and again. As soon as he stood up, he would scream at the palm of his hand, so that he would not have time to open it. They all said that they didn't beat their faces, but Yi Yuan just hit Fei Qingping's face. A dozen palms down, Fei Qingping's face has swollen into a pig's head. It is estimated that his parents are here and can't recognize this son. Fei Qingping was arrogant in his heart. Every time he tried hard to stand up and wanted to launch a counterattack, but every time he waited for him to react, Yi Yuan came to his eyes again. At this moment, he discovered that Yi Yuan, who has always looked down, has really threatened his strength. Everyone looked silly and looked at Yi Yuan's palm and mechanically. Every time Yi Yuan hits, their heart will not rush to jump, as if the palm is in the face of their own face. Looking at my face, how do I find that my cheeks are hot? Wang Yuan did not speak a word, his face was already gloomy and dripping water. Yi Yuan, this is the face of Fan Fiqing, which is simply fanning his face. So many people here, who does not know that Fei Qingping is his person. In his heart, he has already spent a lot of time on Fei Qingping, but he did not help the battlefield of the battlefield. Wang Yuan did not have the eyesight of Hu Yannyang. At this time, he still stubbornly believed that Yi Yuan was the first opportunity because of the 3 moves, and Fei Qingping was caught off guard before he could make Fei Qingping like this. When I think of Fei Qingping's opening, I promised to let Yi Yuan make 3 moves. This is a joke. There are more than 10 strokes, and Fei Qingping did not even have a hand. Fei Qingping, are you a pig? Use your hand to get a hand. Wang Yuan knew that he couldn't sit back and ignore it at this time, so he shouted. Hey! Wang Yuan shouted. The eyes of hundreds of people all over the scene looked over here. Yi Yuan also seems to be attracted by this shouting, and his eyes are on the side, stopping the rhythm of tempering. Shut up. This is a life and death battle. Who made you yell? Hu Yannyang turned and looked at Wang Yuan coldly. A powerful momentum that belongs to the spirit of the environment was oppressed, so that Wang Yuan's breathing was almost stuck up. Hu Yan teacher, does he count the rules of the college? Yi Yuan said faintly. Hu Yannyang is also a headache. Although Wang Yuan is only a prefecture-level student, his potential is quite large. In addition to his father Wan Donghai's relationship, he is not too harsh. However, Wang Yuan is indeed a bad rule. The battle between life and death is a confrontation that does not allow anyone to disturb. Wang Yuan's cross-cutting has obviously disrupted the rhythm of Yi Yuan. Now Yi Yuan seizes the words of this, and in the eyes of the public, Hu Yannyang really does not know how to deal with it. Of course count, although it is troublesome, but Hu Yannyang is not good at the face of so many people. At this time, many people in the stands watched Wang Yuan's gaze has become a contempt. Anyone can see it. He deliberately interrupted Yi Yuan's rhythm. That, according to the rules of the college, how should he punish his behavior? I just took advantage of it. I was so embarrassed by him. I am afraid that I will be beaten by Fei Qingping. I don't want to become a pig. Hu Yan, you have to be the master of my week. Yi Yuan said innocently. This, Hu Yanyang burst into a sigh of relief, and his heart was dark. Others can't see it, can't he see it? Even if it was interrupted, the pig's head couldn't touch Yi Yuan's clothes, and it didn't matter. It can be biased to the far side of this fashion, to win the sympathy of all people. This time he will not come to Taiwan, not dealing with Wan Yuan. Sure enough, Yi Yuan's voice fell, and there was a buzzing sound on the stands. That means, everyone knows. Yi Yuan had already had 2 small realms in Fei Qingping, which was in an absolute disadvantage. Fei Qingping forced himself to lose the first opportunity, so that the original tilted balance could not be easily balanced. If Yi Yuani was killed by Fei Qingping, no one would come to sympathize with him. But now Yi Yuan has seen the hope of victory, but it has been interrupted by Wan Yuan, which cannot help but sympathize with him. Although many of them are still betting on Yi Yuan. And everyone knows in their hearts, don't look at Yi Yuan's fight. In fact, it is a skin injury to Fei Qingping, and it is not hurting. It's good to have a wave of waves, but a wave can't make up for the gap. If Fei Qingping is only 3-fold, he now has 10 lives and is dead. If Fei Qingping is full of vitality, Yi Yuan may have a chance to kill him. But it's 5-fold. No one thinks that Yi Yuan can really kill Fei Qingping. And the same is true. When Hu Yanyang was in a dilemma, Fei Qingping finally took the opportunity to stand up and shake. However, he was already confused at this time, and he couldn't figure out the direction at all. Fei Qingping vaguely saw a figure and pointed at him and said, Yi Yuan, I want to kill you. Ha 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 ha. Hundreds of people looked at Fei Qing's flattering look and laughed. The laughter shook the painful flat ear mask. Fei Qingping did not understand why everyone was laughing at himself, but when he saw what he was referring to, he suddenly sweated. The figure in front of him is getting clearer. The person he is pointing at is not someone else. Wan Yuan disturbed the battle of life and death. According to the rules of the hospital, after the war, he led the whipping 100. Now, you leave me to the battlefield. Hu Yanyang has been teaching for so many years, never felt as shameful as today. Chapter 33. You really have a species. The whipping is a common punishment for the students. This whipping is different from the whipping of a mortal. It is a punishment of the Yuan with a lower spirit. Each whip will smash the strength of the trainee's body and painfully enter the bone marrow. Generally, students who make mistakes are about 30 to 50 lashes. After they finish playing, they basically lie on the bed for 10 days. Wan Yuan smashed 100 times, and it took 20 days to get to the ground. Wan Yuan also knew that he had committed public anger and did not dare to scream with Hu Yanyang. He glanced at Yi Yuandao. Let's go, I will come in and give you a corpse. Yi Yuan did not show weakness, loudly, thank you, but still give your dog a corpse. Don't send it. After that, Yi Yuan waved his hand with hatred and sent Wan Yuan to leave. If it was not a life and death battle, Wan Yuan could not wait to tear down Yi Yuan immediately. Wan Yuan left. Hu Yanyang calmly announced, life and death continue. Fei Qingping has already returned to this moment, and the sinful eyes seem to tear Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan, you a despicable villain, even use such a despicable way to attack me. Fei Qingping gnashed his teeth. Yi Yuan looked at him like a fool. Hey, you said that I have made 3 moves. Now I am blaming me for being mean. Are you really turning into a pig? Little bastard, you are dead. Fei Qingping has already left the anger, but also snorted. As soon as the voice fell, Yi Yuan's figure appeared in front of him. Boom! Fei Qingping flew out again. This time, the people in the stands finally found out that something was wrong. If it is said that Fei Qingping was beaten again and again because of the initial enemy, then what? Fei Qingping and Yi Yuan confronted each other. Under the wrath, they could not be unprepared, but they were still shocked by Yi Yuan. The eyesight was found, and this time Fei Qingping was already preparing to fight back, but he was still half a beat. This is the flashing so fast. Left does not think that there are too many things to subvert his perception today. Longtang glanced at him and said, it seems that we are all looking away, and Yi Yuan's flash has reached a full level. Left does not return a cold air. Hey, a full level, flashing you will also. Longtang seems to know the meaning of left no return, nodded, I cannot find the opportunity to enter the full level. The left does not murmur. This leaf is far, it is enchanting. It seems that we will have another terrible opponent in the future. After listening to the left, there is no dignified expression on the face of Longtang, but it is full of war. If he can rise, it is a good opponent. Longtang is as aggressive as Lingyun, as if he has been lonely for a long time at Danwu College. Left does not return to a white-eyed road, you really are a metamorphosis. Although I don't know what happened to Yi Yuan, but I am afraid that it will not pose any threat to you. After all, your realm is much higher than him. I'm afraid not necessarily. Do you still believe that Yi Yuan's two-level rise is the result of his father's destructive encouragement? Left does not return to shake his head. Although I don't know how he did it, he is by no means the kind of emptiness of the roots. From the beginning to the present, he has used more than 10 flashes and waves. Zhang, if the foundation is illusory, now the principle is not up. But looking at him, it seems that it is not too hard, but more than enough. But the question is still, how did he do it? Watching the war until now, the left does not return to the feeling that Yi Yuan has too many mysteries. Many things happening in Yi Yuan are beyond his cognition. However, leaving the left will not treat Yi Yuan as an opponent, because Yi Yuan's realm is too low. The accumulation of Yuanli is a long process. Even if the talent is good, this process cannot be made up in a short time. Left is not 2 years older than Yi Yuan. If he is just a mediocrity like Fei Qingping, it is not surprising that he is caught up by Yi Yuan. However, the left is not the genius in the genius, the second person in the list, he has his own pride. When Yi Yuan is far from his current strength, he must have made a big step forward. It seems that Yi Yuan has hidden a lot of secrets. I have a feeling, I am afraid that it will not be long before he will be your enemy. Longtang said. Yi Yuan looked at Fei Qingping on the ground at this time, cold and cold. How do you care about me? It doesn't matter, but even my parents are going in, then it won't work. If you have a kind, try again, the next time I shot but it won't be so light. Fei Qingping struggled from the ground and shook his pig's head. He laughed and said, ha ha ha, just by you. Even if you practiced a wave of waves, how about it? A wave, I just let you play, you can play or you dead. When you are exhausted, it is your death. How about you, little hybrid, little hybrid, little hybrid, come, hit me. This time, Fei Qingping learned it. When he spoke, he was already guarded by God. He secretly ran his strength and was ready to display his hand at any time. He also knows that the body itself is better than Yi Yuan in any case, so he simply took the defensive. As long as Yi Yuan's power is exhausted, he will die. However, Yi Yuan did not seem to immediately take the shot, but looked at Fei Qingping and laughed. It was just the coldness revealed in the smile that made the students in the stands feel a little chilling. Hu Yanyang's eyes are slightly stunned. He knows that Yi Yuan is really angry. The next shot must be a thunder blow. It's just that he can't think of what Yi Yuan is doing to make up for the gap in the realm. Obviously, a wave of waves cannot cause substantial harm to Fei Qingping, and at most it makes him embarrassed. Even the waves of the waves are useless. Is there any killer in Yi Yuan? Hu Yanyang faintly looked forward to it, and Yi Yuan had brought too many accidents to him today. Oh, very good, you really have a kind of species. I am coming, your little sister can get ready. Yi Yuan smiled, but also specifically reminded Fei Qingping. The next moment, Fei Qingping found that Yi Yuan's body shape gradually became blurred, and suddenly felt bad. Xiao Yan took the hand without hesitation and wanted to slow down Yi Yuan's body shape. However, all this is in vain. Yi Yuan's figure once again appeared in front of him, and then he shot it with a palm, exactly the same as before. The waves are in the palm of your hand, the two waves. Fei Qingping's body flew out like a broken kite. Wow! At the moment of falling to the ground, Fei Qingping spit a large amount of blood, apparently suffering from a minor internal injury. 2 waves. He has become a double wave. How is this possible? Only 3 days. The left is not afraid to believe in his own eyes. This scene is really shocking. Although it only doubles the attack power, the difficulty of cultivation can be more than doubled. Longtang once predicted that if he wants to practice a double wave, he will spend at least 3 months. Yi Yuan, is this guy still a person? Although the Longtang on the side did not speak, the shock inside was not inferior to the left. In 2 days, he practiced a double wave. This is something he can't imagine. What happened to Yi Yuan? What made him so enchanting? Chapter 34 Infinite Trial. Yi Yuan was too lazy to pay attention to the shock of others, and Shi Shiren came to Fei Qing Plain. You said you can't kill you. Do you think you are Xiaoqiang? You are just a dog of Wanyuan. Yi Yuan said lightly. What Fei Qingping wants to say, but it is a spit. One heavy wave is twice the force, and the double wave is 4 times the force. With Yi Yuan's thick force, he issued a 4-fold attack, and Fei Qingping's Yuanli shield was not enough. Just now, the palm of the hand directly smashed Fei Qingping's Yuanli shield and printed it on his chest. Yi Yuan's palm did not leave his hand, directly shattered Fei Qingping's internal organs and broke his heart. For Fei Qingping, Yi Yuan had already sentenced him to death in his heart. The predecessor died in the hands of Fei Qingping. Yi Yuan inherited this body and naturally felt the resentment of his predecessor before his death. Killing Fei Qingping, Yi Yuan can be regarded as a revenge for his predecessor. Cough and cough, Yi Yuan, I am a ghost, I will not let you go. Fei Qingping struggled to stand up, but it was in vain. Oh, then I will make you ghosts can't do it. After that, Yi Yuan made up a palm, and the result was Fei Qingping. From the beginning to the end, Fei Qingping did not have a trick. In the stands, everyone looked at Yi Yuan in the battlefield with a stunned look. The end of the 10,000-year-old crane brought them too much shock today. With the 3-powered killing of the 5-fold vitality, a full-scale flash, a wave of waves and 2 waves. Anything out of it is enough to sensation of Danwu College, but these 3 things happened to Yi Yuan alone. Life and death, Fei Qingping, Yi Yuansheng. Hu Yanyang first recovered from the shock, announced the results of the battle between life and death. Yi Yuan made a glimpse of Hu Yanyang and said, "It's hard to call the teacher." After that, Yi Yuan went deep into the stands and glanced at him with a sigh of relief. Thank you for your brother-in-law to raise your love. I know that my younger brother is lacking in strength and cultivation. It is really frightening for my younger brother. I hope that my brothers and sisters will pay back their accounts. Don't let the younger brother go to the door to ask for it, so the face must look good. The crowd in the stands was originally in shock, but at this time it was full of resentment and contempt. It's too ugly to eat this leaf far away. This is a threat, naked threat. Oh, this Yi Yuan is also interesting. Back to the mountain of Yi Hang, isn't it still something like Yuan Shi Dan? Left did not return to the appearance of Yi Yuan's city, and Jun could not help but say. This trip is not empty, let's go. Longtang said coolly. Oh, not empty, not empty. Danwu College is fun again. Yi Yuan, don't break your body, it's hard to kill my heart. Wan Yuaniu was on the bed, and the whip marks on his back were shocking. When Fei Qingping was killed by Yi Yuan, Wan Yuan got the news and suddenly hated the sky. In this case, he still has to lead the whipping, which makes his hatred of Yi Yuan no longer added. 100 whip down, Wan Yuanpi opened the flesh, and he passed out on the spot. At this time, the deep family of Wan Yuan appeared. He took the second-order Shangpin Daiden, and his injuries were quickly suppressed. With the application of some drugs, up to 7 or 8 days of effort, Wan Yuan can be restored as ever. However, the wound on the body is easy to heal, and the wound in the heart is getting bigger and bigger. In any case, Fei Qingping and he are both from small to big. As a master servant, he is actually a brother. Wan Yuan couldn't think of it. Yi Yuan's progress turned out to be so fast, and he was able to kill Fei Qingping, who was 5 times heavy. Knowing this early, he would never let Fei Qingping go to death in vain. At the time of Wan Yuan's resentment, Lu Ruishui's money came in, and he was still moving. Wan Shi brother asked the festival to mourn. I cannot think that Yi Yuan is so despicable, Set the trap to let the younger brother drill, the heart is really deep. Lu Ruoshui just reveals the color of sadness, making people look pitiful. Wang Yuan couldn't get up, but it was very touching for Lu Ruoshui to see himself at this time. Thank you, Lu Shimei, it is indeed my intention. My father has been fighting with Yi Hang for so many years. I have been fighting Yi Yuan for so many years. I always thought that I knew him very well. I thought he was a waste. I didn't expect him to hide so deep. Wang Yuan hated Lu Ruoshui. Yeah, we all looked away. I didn't expect him to be playing pigs and eating tigers. It is estimated that the last poisoning thing completely angered him, so he will count on it and lead the feat to the younger brother. Wang Yuan gritted his teeth and said, I and Yi Yuan are not dead, or I am dead, and he is progressing too fast, and he can no longer let him grow up. Obviously, through this life and death battle, Wang Yuan has already felt the pressure. Yi Yuan's strength is too dazzling. Even if he is the genius of the key training of Danwu College, he can't do it by himself. If he gives Yi Yuan some time, he may really threaten himself. The wave of the wave of the wave of the palm of the hand, the full-scale flash, if left to grow, he will soon be not an opponent. Wang Yuan certainly does not know, Yi Yuan has already killed him in his level of killer hatred. If it is a life and death battle, Yi Yuan has been able to kill him. Lu Ruoshui strongly agrees with this. Yes, Yi Yuan's heart is too deep, and he is very ruthless. Wang Shishong still has to think of a way to deal with him. Lu Ruoshui has no choice now. She is now a grasshopper on the rope with Wang Yuan. She once designed Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan will not let her go, so he came over in Wang Yuan to solve Yi Yuan as soon as possible. However, the college does not allow students to do it automatically. Otherwise it will be severely punished by the college. Wang Yuan frowned. In fact, even if Wang Yuan is now hands-on, he does not have much confidence to kill Yi Yuan. A full-scale flash of lightning can almost make him invincible. Don't you forget that after a month, there is boundless trial. The sudden appearance of the sound scared Wang Yuan and Lu Ruoshui. It's Brother Su. Sorry, Brother Su, Wang Yuan is hurt, and it's inconvenient to salute. Wang Yuan apologized. The coming person is Su Yishan, the top 10 in Wubang. Lu Ruoshui naturally did not dare to neglect. Yingying got up and walked to Wan Fu. I have seen Su Shishong. Su Yishan looked at her faintly, did not say anything, and sat down on one side as if it were his own family. Danwu College is a place that advocates genius and advocating strength. Some people are arrogant and no one dares to speak. No strength can only be stepped on by others. Yi Yuan used to be the tail of the Wanian crane, so no one has ever seen him. And now he is soaring, naturally being valued by everyone. Su brother, what you just said is, infinite trial. Right, why didn't I think? Wang Yuan was excited, and his hands were forced to touch the wound, and suddenly he hurt his teeth. Lu Ruoshui on the side is also a bright scorpion, and obviously understands the meaning of Su Yishan. Yes, it is boundless trial. Want to deal with Yi Yuan, the infinite forest is the best place. Su Yishan faint. Chapter 35 Six-Pointed Star Array. Infinite trials are actually a hunting activity for Danwu College students. There are countless monsters in the infinite forest, which is the best place to hone the students. Of course, such tempering is often accompanied by casualties. In the past trials, many talented students were buried in the belly of the beast. Danwu College has never been a paradise. It is even more cruel than the outside world. The weak are destined to be eliminated. This is a world dominated by the strong. Danwu College provides a relatively safe competitive environment for geniuses, but there is no real strong person in the greenhouse. These geniuses cannot grow without experiencing the baptism of blood. There are all kinds of contradictions in the college. These contradictions always have a release mouth, and the infinite trial is the release. The grievances that cannot be solved in the college can be solved in the infinite trial. Although the college has repeatedly stressed that it is not allowed to shoot against peers in the infinite trials, in fact, the college actually defaults to the students to use this opportunity to solve personal grievances. Sure enough, the eyes of Su Shi brothers are broad, and they have already chosen the place to bury their bones for Yi Yuan. Lu Ruoshui praised. Su Yishan looked at Lu Ruishui with some playfulness, and she saw her shyness and charmingness. Lu Ruishui is not a good person. He is a small family with a small family. He has enjoyed very little resources since childhood. However, her qualifications are good. At the age of 14, she reached the level of strength and was able to be included in Danwu College. If it wasn't for Danwu College, Lu Ruishui had already been sent out as a gift by the family. She was full of hate for Lu's family. She wanted to go back to the elders one day and let them see if there was no family support. Lu Ruishui can make a difference. However, when I entered Danwu College, Lu Ruishui knew how many talented people there were. She asked her qualifications not worse than these geniuses, but her origins limited her development. Lu Ruishui's most lacking resources are resources, so she managed to find ways to get between men, in order to get enough resources for cultivation. Lu Ruishui's natural charm is the double-star companion that all men dream of, and this is her biggest capital. So she used this capital to wander between men, and she hoped to marry a big tree. People like Su Yishan simply can't see Lu Ruishui. Lu Ruishui also understands that even if they look at it, they can only be reduced to their playthings. Therefore, Lu Ruishui put his gaze on those geniuses who are still growing, and this person is Wan Yuan. In fact, Lu Ruishui also considered Yi Yuan, because Yi Yuan is better controlled than Wan Yuan. Looking at it, these two people are actually indistinguishable. However, when it comes to the future, Wan Yuan has a few streets away from Yi Yuan. Wan Yuan has the power, strength, and a father of Dadan. No one is more suitable than him. And Wan Yuan is also very good, and now she has deep roots in her love. Lu Ruishui is also just a promotion to the prefecture level, and there is not much contact with the super genius of Su Yishan. However, this is only the eye. Lu Ruishui has a feeling of being stunned by the other side, making her very uncomfortable. Lu Shimei is good. After a playful smile, Su Yishan just said a faint sentence, and he did not know what he meant to express. After that, he stopped paying attention to Lu Ruishui and said to himself, "At that time, I will cooperate with you to get rid of Yi Yuan. Losing this son, Yi Hang must be unsettled. At that time, we will unite. You can uproot the medicine incense. Yi Hang is in the first place, and the royal family is not good at saying anything." After listening to Su Yishan's words, Wan Yuan's eyes became sharp and excited. Su brother's personal shot is really good. To be honest, with Yi Yuan's full-scale flash, I'm not going to shoot at all. Maybe it's not necessarily can leave him. If there is a brother of Su's personal hand, Yi Yuan will definitely be in danger. Lu Ruishui is a little bit in the heart, and the means of Su Yishan is really terrible. She and Wan Yuan are just thinking about how to deal with Yi Yuan, but Su Yishan has even counted the entire medicine incense. Su's main source of income is also medicinal herbs, and the Drunk Star building is quite deep, so the two have always been good. Sujia is the largest supplier of herbal medicines in Qin. In most cases, Sujia only provides support for medicinal materials, and does not involve refining and sales of medicinal herbs. However, Yi Hang did not know where to come from, and the medicinal materials used did not pass through the Su family, so the Su family naturally hated Yi Hang. In the imperial city, Yaoshangge and Drunken Star House are two mountains and two tigers. The two have fought for so many years, and the royal family has also defaulted to this delicate balance. However, Sujia does not like the existence of Yaoshangge very much, because Yaoshangge has seized a large part of the drug market, which means that the profit of Sujia has been compressed a lot. I have to say that Yi Hang is still very good at business. The price of the medicine incense is fair, and it has never been a big bully. It has a good reputation among the hunters. Su Jiahe and Wan Jiaming secretly made countless scorpions, but they did not give them a substantial harm. Su Yishan, this is to use Yi Yuan as a fulcrum, and uprooted the medicine incense. At this age, I can have this kind of mentality and pattern. I have to say that Su Yishan is a hero. After Su Yishan's departure, Lu Ruishui's eyes repeatedly said, "Congratulations to Wan's brother. If there is a Soviet brother's shot, Yi Yuan is really dead this time." Not only Yi Yuan, the Zun adults can also remove their eyes this time. Wan Yuan did not have the excitement of Lu Ruishui, and he was sentenced to 2 when he was in Su Yishan. Su brothers feel the threat. Take a deep breath. Wan Yuan Shen Sheng. You mean, Yi Yuan. Lu Ruishui is also a smart person. Wan Yuan said that she immediately understood, but she was shocked by her own thoughts. For the students of Danwu College, Wubang and Danbang's top 10 are the people they need to look up to. Such a genius, would you feel a triple threat? It's incredible, Yi Yuan's residence, Green's eyes wide open, watching the young master play with the full house of Dan. Yi Yuan took out 6 vitality Dans and placed them on the 6 corners of a painted hexagonal array. Slightly urged into the force, the array immediately exudes a faint white on, and the 6 Qi Dan gradually melted and gathered toward the center of the hexagon. Slightly tilted, the light is dim, the liquid remedy reconverges at the center, and it recondenses into a remedy. The recondensed medicinal herbs can be seen from the color, and it is much stronger than the original top grade. Young master, this is the super productive Dan. Green children from childhood, in the parents of Yi, is no stranger to the drug. Top grades are more common. Super products, if Yi Heng is super existing, it is not bad to have one in the pot. But now, Yi Yuan is free to use 6 top grades, and he can actually become a super powerful Dan. This is amazing. Yi Yuan picked up the medicinal herbs and put them into the medicine bottle. He said, yes, this is called the 6 Month Star Array. It is a phalanx specially used to refine low-grade medicinal herbs. Greener felt very amazing and praised. You are really amazing, young master. Chapter 36 The Price of Sleeping. On the next day, Yi Yuan has a pharmacology class. The teaching of the pharmacology class is called the Wind, and it is the youngest teaching of the entire Danwu Academy, and it is a beautiful teaching. There are countless chasers. The pharmacy class of the Wind is almost full, and no one can catch up with any of the teachings. Moreover, the students listened with great enthusiasm and stared at the Wind. The original boring pharmacology class seems to have become interesting. However, Yi Yuan does not seem to have much enthusiasm for this. He is now screaming and sleeping. Last night, I used the 6-pointed star array to refine the superpowered Dan, which cost a lot of energy and was exhausted. Every high-ranking refining pharmacist is a master of the law, such as Yi Yuan. The nature of the dandy level is no exception. High-ranking medicinal herbs need to be inscribed in order to achieve good efficacy, so the array is a compulsory course for high-ranking refiners. Although the 6-pointed star array is not a high-order array method, the refining of tens of thousands of yuan is still leaving Yi Yuan exhausted. Even so, Yi Yuan did not refine it. It was a good night tonight. If all the refining is completed, there are about 1,000 super-powered Dan in Yi Yuan's hand. This amount is absolutely horrible. The super products are different from the top-grade Dan, and there is basically no price on the outside. Even the Dayton division is a thing that can be refining by chance. How can it be easily circulated in the market? Once the drug reaches the level of the super product, it will produce a qualitative change. On the drug power, the super product Qi Dan is no worse than the blast of the next product, and the super product Dan has no side effects at all. Even if it has been taken to the 9-fold vitality, the body will not produce rejection. Of course, the premise is that you have to have so many super products. Who dares to take the super productive dandan as a sugar bean to eat? Except Yi Yuan. Although the explosion of Yuan Dan is good, but the quality is somewhat high, and the strength of Yi Yuan's current strength cannot guarantee that all the products or the best products will be produced, not to mention the super products. Although the explosion of Yuan Dan is using first-order materials, it is still much more precious than Yuan Dan, and even Yi Heng cannot be supplied in unlimited quantities. In this case, the super product is not the most suitable for Yi Yuan. However, the super product is good, but the tired baby. 7-star lotus is water, sexual yin, often born in Lingu, suitable for refining. Feng ruching through the Compendium of Materia Medica on the case, and talked about it. Obviously, the properties of these herbs are all pointed out. Palm. If the wind is sunny and young, it is already an intermediate Dan teacher, which makes many seniors feel ashamed. You must know that the master of Qian Shang, who is sitting in the hall of the drug, is only a senior Dan, and his age is a little bigger than the wind. This is the gap. If the wind is clear, The side is like a few treasures, while the lotus moves, while the student's eyes are moving with her figure. Suddenly, the wind was fine and the eyebrows were slightly stunned, and the lecture stopped. Everyone can see that the wind is not happy. Everyone looked at her gaze, and saw a man squatting on the table, and his mouth was still flowing. For a time, countless contempt eyes looked at Yi Yuan. How can there be such a big nerve? The wind teacher's class will actually sleep, really abrupt beauty. However, Yi Yuan was so eager to swim at this time, and he was unaware of the grievances of everyone. If the wind rises and lifts the palm of the hand, it will be sent out by 2 wind blades. I only heard a beep. The table legs broke into 2 pieces, and the table collapsed. Yi Yuan's hand was empty, and the whole person woke up and almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, his body and martial arts have been superb, which stabilized his figure. What happened? Yi Yuan obviously still can't figure out the situation. However, he immediately found that he was not quite right, because all the students were staring at themselves, and the beauty training in front of him was cold, and he quickly realized what had happened. Ah, haha, Feng teacher, you know, I just experienced a life and death battle yesterday, consuming too much power, and the time of one night has not recovered, so I can't help but fall asleep. Haha, Yi Yuan played haha and argued. If the wind is sunny, she does not know Yi Yuan, but she was naturally heard about the battle of life and death that was raging yesterday. Listening to Yi Yuan said that the wind is a bit sunny. However, for the behavior of sleeping in class, the wind cannot be tolerated. You are that Yi Yuan. Haha, I am the Yi Yuan. Don't be hippie smiles during class. Ah, yes, the wind teacher is right, I am serious. Well, if it is a life and death battle, it is justifiable. Yi Yuan thought that this was revealed. Who knows that the wind is clear and the front is turning, but at Danwu College, Dan medicine is as important as Wu Dao. Pharmacology is also the foundation of Dan Dao. Sleeping in class is a delay for your future. Yi Yuancheng apologized. Feng teacher, I am wrong, I will never sleep in your class again. Hey, not my class, all classes are not allowed to sleep. Go back and copy the Compendium of Materia Medica 10 times. I will check it next time. The wind is faint. Hey, 10 times. Yi Yuan suddenly stupid. This Compendium of Materia Medica is a simplified version of the Compendium of Materia Medica, written by Dan Li Shijun, which provides a systematic overview of various herbs. Although it is just a simplified version, it is also a thick book. It is terrible to copy 10 times. Yi Yuan had some impressions on the name Li Shijun. It seems that he had been worshipped by his father, Zhengyongzi. At that time, Qingyunzi was present. This kid, back to the domain of God, must be good looking, write something bad, write such a thick book. It's no problem to write such a thick book, but there are a lot of things in it that are not right. Isn't this a pit person? Yes, it is 10 times. Any opinions? Feng Ruoking felt that such things must not be tolerated, let everyone take it as a warning. There are opinions. Yi Yuan shouted with a scorpion. Yi Yuan's words shocked the wind and shocked all the students. In the eyes of the students, it is a bad thing to be punished by the beauty of the gods. How can there be opinions? In the wind, it was the first time she was rejected in the college, and she was still a man, and she was still a student. The things inside are so simple, isn't it a waste of time to copy? If you have this time, it's better to go to the 2 potions to get the benefits. Yi Yuan refused to serve. Yi Yuan's time is precious now, and he doesn't want to waste on these boring things. Just kidding, talking about pharmacology, who in this world knows more than him? Even if Li Shijun came back personally, it would not be worthwhile to give himself a shoe. Simple, hee. The wind was so sunny that Yi was so angry that he laughed. Materia Medica is the basic lesson of the refining pharmacist, and it is also a profound course. Even if Dan Wang came, he would not dare to say that this course is simple. This kid who is not a Daniel is actually a simple one. Chapter 37 Assistant. At Danwu College, Feng Ruoking has always been the presence of people. She came to teach pharmacology, naturally because her pharmacological accomplishments are quite high. Even if the current wind is fine, I dare not say that I have thoroughly read the Compendium of Materia Medica, not to mention its full version of the Compendium of Materia Medica, which is a model that even Dan Wang should carefully study. But now, the kid who is not even a Daniel, even said that the Materia Medica summary is simple, which is simply insulting her years of hard work. Yi Yuan seems to be unable to hear the meaning of the wind and the words in the clear, and said, "Yes, it is really too simple, and the people who write the books are not good and elegant." Everyone was sullenly watching Yi Yuan. They wanted to see how the wind teacher punished this fool. Many of them have been angered by Yi Yuanking. At this time, seeing Yi Yuan's eating, it is naturally welcome. In the battle of life and death, Yi Yuan brought them too much shock, so that they think that Yi Yuan is not the same today, but today, Yi Yuan is still the former Yi Yuan. Ignorance and fearless. Good, good. Feng Ruoking said too good one after another. Obviously it is already very angry. I would like to see, how is the outline of the Materia Medica, is a simple method. I am now, if you can answer it is concluded that you will want to sleep in the pharmacology class. If you can't answer it, I want you to give me a copy of the Compendium of Materia Medica, for 100 times. In the eyes of others, Yi Yuan has already died. Although Yi Yuan's combat power is now extremely strong, he is not even a Daniel. How can he answer the question of the intermediate teacher Dan Shifeng? However, Yi Yuan himself is relieved, and it is much easier to answer the question. He does not want to copy the broken Materia Medica summary 10 times. On pharmacology, who dares to compare with him? Great, wind teacher please ask questions. Seeing that Yi Yuan can't wait for it, if the wind is clear, it won't be a fight, and the heart will wait for you to cry. Sinking face, the wind is clear and clear. Which kinds of medicines are used to refine? What are the steps of refining? If the wind asked for a sunny breath, I looked at Yi Yuan coldly. The students also gloated to see Yi Yuan, knowing that Yi Yuan must be ugly. Weiqi Dan is a first-class Shangdan drug, which is used by the military to restore Yuanli's medicinal herbs. If you want to refine at least the strength of the senior Dantu, it is definitely a difficult proposition for Yi Yuan, who is not even Danish. It is. Among the students present, few people were able to refine this drug. Since no one can refine, naturally no one will pay attention to the unilateral return of Dan, and no one will pay attention to its principles and precautions. Therefore, no one thinks that Yi Yuan can answer this question. Yi Yuan touched his chin and said, "Hey, come back to Dan, simple. The main material is tourmaline inner Dan, red sun Zhongfang flower, the auxiliary materials are Sijiqing, Fengwei, Tiananxing, etc. Steps are some pay attention to the two parts of the auxiliary materials, add the bismuth nadan and Qiang saber-toothed flowers, extract 2 medicine embryos, refine at the same time, and finally merge into one." When Yi Yuan finished, he suddenly laughed. Dan Feng they don't know much, but this refining technique is simply nonsense. Divide the medicine into 2 parts, refine the 2 medicine embryos, how to control into the furnace. How to integrate. This kind of refining technique is unheard of, and it can only show that this leaf is far from ignorant and the wind is fine. Dare to play the wind teacher, this guy has suffered. 100 times, 100 times. Let you hang our vitality Dan, deserve it. After a burst of laughter, the crowd did not hear the accusation of the wind teacher's anger. Look again, the wind teacher's face showed a look of thought. Everyone couldn't help but wonder, did this guy really hold the wind teacher? Hey, what do you mean about yin and yang shunting? Asked Feng Ruqing. Yi Yuan smiled and said, the wind teacher is really knowledgeable, even the yin and yang shunts know. Yi Yuan has done some understanding of the refining techniques of Danwu College. This yin and yang shunt is a relatively unpopular refining technique that most people don't know. To say that it is unpopular, in fact, because the difficulty is too great, most people can't master it. Controlling 2 drug embryos in a potent drug cannot make the 2 drug embryos have the slightest conflict, need to be used with 1 heart and 2, and the control of the force is very uniform and the difficulty can be imagined. It's not a matter of tempering, it's impossible to complete the control. However, this is not a problem for Yi Yuan, and he can use it more easily than this complicated and many thousand times of refining techniques. If you use the yin and yang shunt, what is the same for the second turn back to the gas? The original glamorous and arrogant wind is clear, At this time it is like a thirsty student, so that everyone is surprised. Can it be said that this leaf is still a genius of refining? What he said is beyond the knowledge of all the students here. Of course, the second turn back to the gas is only a bit more complicated. The process of refining is more complicated. The principle is actually the same, and it is naturally applicable with the yin and yang shunt. Yi Yuanjun talked, as if he is a teacher now, and the erudition of the wind has become a student. If the wind is clear and the eyes are bright, he says to himself, yeah, why didn't I think of using yin and yang shunting? The second turn back to Qi Dan is the second order Shengpin Dan medicine. Feng Ruoqing is now only an intermediate Dan teacher. The soul power is between the intermediate Danshi and the senior Danshi, which is slightly insufficient, and it is naturally difficult to refine. The yin and yang shunt can avoid the weakness of the lack of soul power, and it is obviously easier to temper the two medicine embryos than to control one medicine embryo, but the handling power of the refining pharmacist is too high. Moreover, there is another advantage of the yin and yang shunting technique. Separating the main materials allows them to retain the maximum force, so that the quality of the medicinal herbs after the training is higher. If a refining pharmacist is skilled at using yin and yang shunts, the medicinal herbs he produces will be of higher quality than the refining pharmacists of the same class. Having said that, the conventional methods of refining medicine have been enough for the pharmacists to learn, and then the tactics of yin and yang shunting are simply looking for abuse. Therefore, the yin and yang shunting technique is very powerful, but the people who need are few and far between. Hey, Feng teacher, you see that I have already answered it. Can you go back to sleep now? Look at my desk. Yi Yuan looked innocent. The wind did not think that this guy still remembers to sleep now, and the anger that had calmed down has come up again. Feng teacher, just now you said, if I can answer your question, how do you want to sleep later? Oh, although this is not polite, but I am really sleepy now. Yi Yuan is suffering face. If the wind is clear, I look at Yi Yuan's eyes of the pandas, knowing that Yi Yuan is not lying, but what did this guy did last night? Even if I experienced a life and death battle yesterday, isn't it too difficult today? What did I say? The wind blew his eyes and looked at all the trainees with a threat. He asked, have I said anything? Unreasonable is a woman's patent, even if she is the teacher of the wind and the wind. All the students collectively petrified. Many people said, say, have you said it? No, didn't you say it? Yes, how could the wind teacher say this? Yi Yuan was completely defeated. The only thing he wants to do now is to sleep. Wind teacher, hey, it's not impossible to go back to sleep, but you have to promise me a condition. I am waiting here, but this time, don't say it's a condition, it's 10 conditions. Well, I need a student to be an assistant. You come to be my assistant. Everyone is petrified again. Why didn't such a difference happen to oneself? Oh, a flash of light. Yi Yuan has disappeared, leaving only the sound in place. No problem. Chapter 38 Promotion Assessment. In the eyes of all the students, Yi Yuan slipped away, and the wind was clear and the eyes were slightly resentful. However, Yi Yuan did not care so much, he was really sleepy. I have to fight at night, how can I not sleep? As for the assistant, Yi Yuan just promised. At this time, I did not agree to agree. If the wind is sunny, it is a real spirit of the soul. If she does not let Yi Yuan go, he will definitely not be able to go, even if he has a flash. Back to the residence, Yi Yuan felt sleepy at dusk before he woke up. Throwing a rare gas back into the abdomen, coupled with the recovery of sleep, the body's strength will soon be restored to 7 or 8. This time, Dan was refining before Yi Yuan's departure, but now it is used. After the recovery of Yuanli, Yi Yuan continued to use the 6-pointed star array to refine the superpowered Dan. This is a very large project. Tens of thousands of top grades. Even if you refine 6 each time, you should have thousands of super products. In this way, Yi Yuan sleeps during the day and alchemy at night. 2 nights later, Yi Yuan just woke up and was planning to refine the last batch of super powerful Dan, but it was an unexpected guest. It was the host of Life and Death, Hu Yanyang. Yi Yuan was called out by the green child, and the god slammed the door shut, which was a bit strange. Haha, Hu Yan teacher is good, don't know what to look for. I have something to do here, let's make a long story short. Yi Yuan said, laughing. Hu Yangyang is an informal person. He is not angry with Yi Yuan's move. He just has some doubts. I have come here, don't ask me to sit in. Yi Yuan cautiously blocked the door and did not ask him to enter. If Hu Yangyang sees that he can freely refine the super products, then don't say it is Danwu College, or the whole Qin state has blown up the pot. It's too messy. Hu Yan's teacher still doesn't want to go in. I'll wait for me to pack up, and then invite Hu Yan's teacher to come over and have a cup of tea. Yi Yuan slammed. Yi Yuan heard about Hu Yangyang. This person is usually cold, but he is a very reasonable person, so he does not mean that the other party will be hard. Hu Yangyang naturally knows what Yi Yuan is doing in it, but the student's residence is a private territory after all. He is also not good at it and has to give up. Well, I am waiting for your invitation. Yi Yuan was just a polite one. He did not expect Hu Yangyang to climb up the pole. They all said that this is a long-awaited martial art. I came to you to tell you that your current strength should be able to enter the mysterious level, you can go to the promotion assessment. Hu Yangyang said something. In Danwu College, the level is not to look at the realm, but to see the actual combat effectiveness. If the trainees feel that their strength is sufficient, they can go to the Magic Tower for promotion assessment. Once they pass, they can be promoted to the next level, and Hu Yangyang is responsible for the promotion assessment. In fact, most of the prefecture-level students of Danwu College are related households. Their potential is limited, and they belong to the type of mixed eating and death. The real elites are all above the Zan level. Before Yi Yuan, it naturally belongs to the type of mixed eating and death. Fei Qingping's strength was originally outstanding in the prefecture level. After upgrading to the 5-fold vitality, he has already possessed the strength to challenge the metaphysical assessment. However, if this is the case, naturally, Wu Yangyang will come to Yi Yuan to participate in the assessment. Challenge the Magic Tower is the student's own business, he is too lazy to urge the students. In the battle of life and death, Hu Yangyang had a strong interest in Yi Yuan, a student of this sudden emergence. Obviously, Yi Yuan has a lot of secrets. Of course, this is not a great thing. Everyone who has achieved something, who is not with a secret. The first dragon in Wubang, the second left does not belong to these people, certainly have their own encounters. This school does not care, the college needs strong students. Although Yi Yuan is only 3-powered, he has killed Fei Qingping, a 5-powerful man, in the battle of life and death. The most important thing is that Hu Yangyang felt that Yi Yuan did not use all his strength in the battle of life and death. He wanted to see where Yi Yuan's limit was. The Magic Tower assessment is clearly a good place to test Yi Yuan's true strength. At Danwu College, once the strength of the trainees has reached the standard of promotion, they will be eager to participate in the assessment. However, Hu Yangyang heard that Yi Yuan had been asleep in the classroom these days, and did not come to participate in the assessment, so he personally came to Yi Yuan to participate in the assessment. Ah, advanced assessment, this is good, when can I participate? Yi Yuan stunned, and he readily agreed. Yi Yuan has been thinking about improving his strength as soon as possible, but he has forgotten to participate in the promotion assessment. Not recruiting people as mediocrity, Yi Yuan is not afraid of sharpness. Yi Yuan is a reborn of Dan Emperor. There is no need to be timid at this little Danwu College. He also wants to see where his current strength is. Yi Yuan's answer was to make Hu Yangyang somewhat surprised. He thought that Yi Yuan had something to hide, so he was not in a hurry to participate in the assessment. Also can be at any time. Hu Yangyang said, okay, then I will go to the Magic Tower tomorrow morning. Yi Yuan thought about it. Hu Yangyang nodded and turned to leave. Hu Yan teacher, wait a moment. Yi Yuan suddenly remembered something and shouted Hu Yangyang. What else? I want my maid to take the admission examination. I don't know if Hu Yan can arrange it. Green children followed Yi Yuan to Danwu College for some days, but these Tianyi have been busy, but there is no time to arrange him. Today, I just met Hu Yangyang and let him arrange the assessment. It doesn't seem to be too much. According to the rules of Danwu College, even if the identity is more prominent, you can't bring your entourage into the college. It's no problem for Green Boy to stay for a few days. If the time is long, the college will inevitably pursue it. As that little girl just now. The young age is already full of vitality, but it is barely qualified to participate in the assessment. Okay, you will bring her with you tomorrow. Hu Yangyang nodded. With the training of Hu Yangyang, naturally, the strength of the green child is seen at a glance. The green child is 1 year younger than Yi Yuan. It can only be cultivated to the 3rd level of strength. It can only be said to be unsatisfactory. Hu Yangyang will naturally not care too much. However, if he knows that greener is less than a month from the time of cultivation to the triple strength, he does not know what to think. In fact, the cultivation speed of green children is also very strange. After spending the night, she arrived at the weight of 1 weight. 5 days later, with the help of Yi Yuanfeng Yuan Dan, she successfully broke through the vitality. Then, last night, after taking the super products, the green children broke through again and reached the triple weight, almost catching up with Yi Yuan. If this speed of cultivation is transmitted, it is absolutely shocking. Although there is the aid of medicinal herbs, the enchanting qualification of green children is more important. In the face of green, these so-called geniuses of Qin state are eclipsed. Of course, Yi Yuan teaches her thousands of magical ice, which is like a tailor-made for the green child. Let her practice and smooth. Green children are talented, and Yi Yuan taught her some applicable martial arts these days. She will soon be able to master it, as if she was born to cultivate. The current strength of green children is definitely not worse than the average strength. It should not be a problem to pass the entry assessment. It is a thing worth looking forward to when the master and the servant go to the assessment at the same time. Chapter 39 Lin Tiancheng. The last super product was refining, and Yi Yuan was relieved. The refining of these days has once again drained his power and killed him. However, these hardships are also rewarding, and they continue to squeeze their own strengths. Unconsciously, the realm of Yi Yuan has been fully consolidated. He is now only a short distance from the 4th level of strength. As long as Yuan Li's accumulation is sufficient, Yi Yuan can break through the 4 forces at any time. The rest is naturally a drug. Call, finally completed. Green children, for me to protect the law, I want to break through the 4 elements. Yi Yuan on the green child road. The last batch of medicinal herbs left today is not much. Yi Yuan did not consume too much power. Taking a breath back Dan, meditating for half an hour, Yi Yuan's state returned to its peak state. I took out 5 super-powered Dans and threw them into my mouth, and I was running the Lingyang Juyang God, and Yi Yuan began to hit the 4-fold. If it is other vitality triple, take 5 super-powerful Dan in one breath, not to force the violent Yuan Li to die. However, Yi Yuan's Lingyang Juyang God is too powerful. Those violent Yuan forces are obedient like a gentle and well-behaved sheep. They follow the Yi Yuan's meridians in an orderly manner, but they are somewhat unsuccessful. Look like that. Did not think too much. Yi Yuan swallowed 3 super products, and Yuan Li barely met the requirements. Yi Yuan's powerful and abundant Yuan force has hit the bottleneck of vitality. Not as strong as others, like an overflowing stream of water, slowly but powerfully rushed over. The atmosphere is 4-fold. For the bottleneck that ordinary people can use for months or even a year, Yi Yuan only broke through with an hour. However, Yi Yuan did not stop practicing. He continued to swallow the super product Dan, until Yuan Li reached the quadruple consummation and stopped. Feeling that Dan Tian was a few times thicker when he was 3 times more powerful, Yi Yuan shook his head. It's still too weak. I don't know when I will have the strength to kill the gods. However, if I am going to fight life with Fei Qingping now, can I kill him with only 1 wave? After a night of cultivation, the day was already bright, and it was almost time to find Hu Yangyang. Yi Yuan has just been promoted to the top 4, and his tiredness has already been swept away. Green is now a cultivator, and meditation overnight has no effect on her. The master and the servant came together to the magic tower, and Hu Yangyang had already waited there. Hu Yan teacher is good. Yi Yuan took the green child to go to the court. Hu Yangyang nodded and accepted it. Hu Yangyang instinctively used God's knowledge to sweep over Yi Yuan, and the original indifferent face slightly surprised. I haven't seen you overnight, have you been so powerful? Hu Yangyang was surprised. Oh, Luckily. Yi Yuan hit haha. Hu Yangyang shook his head and said, the original people have said that your realm is forcibly brought up by your father. I will not know if I saw your life and death. But I did not expect that you can take a small step so quickly. Wait. I am also the son of Da Danshi. I live for a long time to eat medicinal herbs. This age is not too big and too heavy to give my old man a shame. Yi Yuan is half-truth. Hu Yangyang nodded, did not say anything, seems to default Yi Yuan's statement. The assessment has not yet begun, you will wait a moment. Hu Yangyang said. Obviously, not only Yi Yuan and Lu Er, who participated in the assessment, there are already more than 10 people waiting there. Okay, Hu Yan teacher. Yi Yuan is not nonsense, with green children standing to the more than 10 people. However, the emergence of Yi Yuan still caused a commotion. His current popularity is too high, not only killing Fei Qingping, who has 2 high realms in his life and death battle, but also tens of thousands of students. It doesn't work if others don't know him. Do you think that is not Yi Yuan? He also came to participate in the promotion assessment. Is there anything weird, that Fei Qingping has barely had the strength to approach the mysterious level? Yi Yuan can kill him. Isn't it normal to take the advanced assessment? It is also said, he is also a unique one in the 3-level assessment. Don't be stupid. When the Dragon Brothers participated in the Zon level assessment, wasn't it also a 3-powerful one? Yi Yuan is more powerful, can he still attack the Dragon Brothers? But his stack of waves and waves have been trained to the double wave. Is this stronger than the Long Brothers? Long Brothers have been practicing for a month before they barely become a heavy wave. Oh, that's just that he is lucky. It happens that this martial art is more suitable for him. Just rely on him. Can he compare with the Dragon Brother? How can he explain his perfect flash? Quote. Hey, look what, it's a big fuss. Yi Yuan seems to break through. He has been so powerful. Scorpio, is this guy still a human? Is he only 3 days in advance? Quote. The 2 men found Yi Yuan to break through and see his expression as if he had seen a ghost. At this time, it is obvious that other people have also found that Yi Yuan has broken through to the top of his strength, and his eyes on Yi Yuan have become weird. Haha, what do you think of me doing this? I know that I am very handsome, but I don't know how to use it. Don't look at me with this kind of look. Isn't it just a breakthrough? It's not a big deal. The realm of your brothers. They are taller than me. Don't you be so surprised. Yi Yuan did not feel uncomfortable, Dalala said. Everyone is collectively speechless. Is this guy forced to work? Breaking the vitality is the first threshold of the martial arts road. Those who break through are not cautious and spend a lot of time to accumulate. However, Yi Yuan actually took only a few days to pass, and now it is a too simple posture. It is really owing. Isn't it a breakthrough to the 4 elements? Is there any fuss? Again, it's just a mysterious level. Even if it's a mysterious level, it's still a garbage. The voice of the argument was broken by an arrogant voice, and the tone was full of disdain. It's Lin Tiancheng's brother, but he is the most hopeful student in the prefecture level to advance to the level of the class. I didn't expect him to come to the promotion assessment this time. It seems that his promotion to the heavens is 10-9. Soon someone recognized it, the master of this voice. Lin Tiancheng slowly came to Yi Yuan's hand and spoke with a powerful atmosphere. You are Yi Yuan. For Lin Tiancheng's momentum, Yi Yuan did not feel uncomfortable. He calmly said, I don't know if Yi Yuan you said is not me, but I am indeed Yi Yuan. Hey, the oil chamber is slipping. These days, the ears are full of news about you. I want to see if I really want to see what you said. Lin Tiancheng looked sullen. Yes, it turns out that I am so famous now, even Lin brothers listen to my name every day. However, I am the first time I heard about Lin brother. I don't know, Lin Shishong can advance to the ranks today, the younger brother is here. I wish brother Lin not to lose his forefoot. Yi Yuan still has an exaggerated expression, but when he says it, he lets other people squeeze a sweat for him. This guy is in the curse. Lin Tiancheng cannot qualify for it. However, this statement really poked Lin Tiancheng's weakness. Chapter 40 Enter the Magic Tower. It is said that Lin Tiancheng is one of the strongest people in the prefecture level, not to say how talented he is. In fact, Lin Tiancheng has been attending the promotion for the 4th time. And with a group of his students, even later than him, many people have already entered the ranks. Among the remaining people who are not in the ranks, he is the strongest. This is Lin Tiancheng's biggest shame, so I am very jealous of others in front of him. Especially for the junior students, they have always been intimidated in front of him. Coincidentally, Yi Yuan's words are in the soft underbelly of Lin Tiancheng. Lin Tiancheng was discolored and looked at Yi Yuan. You have a kind of thing. I dare to talk to my brother. I see you are looking for death. Said, Lin Tiancheng shipped Yuan Li, and he took a shot to Yi Yuan. Boom. Yi Yuan stood there and did not move. Lin Tiancheng's body flew out. Turning a few heads on the ground, Lin Tiancheng barely stabilized his body and looked very wolf. Which scam shot me? Lin Tiancheng was unstoppable. As soon as the words were finished, Lin Tiancheng found that the people next to him looked at him with weird eyes, and some of them were unknown. Lin Tiancheng, courage is not small, even dare to start in front of me. Hu Yanyang's cold voice came, let Lin Tiancheng involuntarily played a cold war. In the face of Hu Yanyang, where does Lin Tiancheng have the courage to resist? He was sweating coldly, but his mouth was actually screaming that the teacher was a confidant. Isn't this a death? Hu Yanyang is the person who presides over the assessment. He will do whatever he wants for a while. Isn't he going to return to the feathers this time? If Hu Yanyang remembers his hatred, he will not want to advance in his life. I am sorry, I am a teacher, I don't know if it is you. Lin Tiancheng quickly apologized. Hu Yanyang no expression. The magic tower is the place to be promoted. Without my permission, you dare to do it yourself. Influencing the assessment of other students, can you afford this responsibility? Wei Yan teacher, is him, swearing at me, deliberately provoked me to shoot. Lin Tiancheng did not dare to offend Hu Yanyang, naturally pointed his finger at Yi Yuan. Lin Shishong, you don't want to rely on good people. I obviously wish you a successful assessment, but I don't know how to anger you. I have to do it to me. Isn't Lin brothers come to participate in the Auditorious Tower assessment, and I don't want to advance? A strange expression on his face. Yesterday, Yi Yuan did say that Lin Tiancheng does not want to lose his forefoot, and can't pick a word from the words. Just seeing his exaggerated expression, no one would think that he was blessing Lin Tiancheng. Poor Lin Tiancheng, I don't know that Yi Yuan came to participate in the assessment today. This is what Hu Yanyang personally invited. Don't say that this is what Lin Tiancheng picked up. Even if he took advantage of it, Hu Yanyang could not stand on his side. I have seen everything just now. You were sarcasm from beginning to end. Do you think that my examiner is very fooled? Hu Yanyang's voice is getting colder and colder. No, give me honestly, I am a first-time offender. I will do it this time. If you commit another crime, cancel your assessment. Lin Tiancheng no longer dared to pay back, and honestly stayed with him. Waiting for a while, there are students coming over. About 50 people were enough, and Hu Yanyang appeared again in front of everyone. Now people are all here, and when I open the ban, the illusion tower will automatically be sent to the appropriate assessment according to your repairs. Most of you have experienced the promotion assessment, but a few people participated for the first time. Let me explain briefly. Hu Yanyang briefly introduced the notes of the magic tower. In fact, this is a special explanation for Yi Yuan and green children. In addition to Yi Yuan and green children, everyone else has participated in the promotion assessment. Needless to say, green children, Yi Yuan said that he should have been admitted to the hospital and entered the magic tower. However, the predecessor was really a dish, and it was impossible to pass the assessment of the magic tower. Yi Hang had asked a lot of relationships to put Yi Yuan into it, so he had never been to the magic tower. It turned out to be a 32-band scorpion. There are some means in the Union sect. Feel the layer of ban on the phantom tower, and Yi Yuan sighed in his heart. 32 shackles are naturally nothing in Yi Yuan's eyes, but although this genre is not high in quality, it is quite unique as a student's promotion assessment. This phantom tower seems to be specially developed by Yu Yunzong to divide the level of students. There are 5 areas in total, namely, Advanced Entry, Advanced Yellow, Advanced, Advanced and Advanced. The first 4 areas correspond to the 4 student levels of Danwoo College. The admission examination passed the Advanced Yellow level, the Yellow level advanced examination passed the Advanced level, and so on. The last day level advancement is whether the Yunzong assessment day level students are eligible to enter Zongmen and become an outside disciple. Obviously, the difficulty of the assessment of these 5 levels is increasing in turn. When the level is advanced, the difficulty is quite exaggerated. In fact, Lin Tiancheng's qualifications are not bad, but the assessment of the advanced level of the prefecture is indeed a bit abnormal, and will fail repeatedly. Among the students at the prefecture level, there are not a few students like him. As for the advanced level, I very much hope that during your academic career at Danwoo College, someone can qualify for this assessment. Hu Yanyang told the students. The words of Hu Yanyang did not cause too many reactions from other people. Obviously they all know how terrible this assessment is. Hu Yanyang said that he is qualified, not able to pass. That is to say, among these people, when they graduated from Danwoo College at the age of 20, there is no chance even if they try this kind of assessment. I can imagine the difficulty of this assessment. Most of the students who came today are participating in the advanced level, which is the assessment of the advanced level. Some of them are participating in the advanced level, and only one green child is involved in the advanced level. When you enter the Magic Tower, you can participate in multiple levels of assessment until you are killed or voluntarily quit. After passing an assessment, it will be automatically transferred to the next assessment. You can choose whether you want to proceed to the next one. At the time, the Magic Tower will remember the level of your assessment when you are killed. The next time you enter the Magic Tower, you will start again from this level. Okay, now enter the Magic Tower. Obviously, Hu Yanyang, this last sentence is to tell Yi Yuan. After that, Hu Yanyang came to the front of the hull of the magical pagoda, raised his hand and made a semi-arc in front of him, and a light black force hidden into the Magic Tower. Then, the door of the Magic Tower slowly opened. The participants who participated in the assessment entered in turn, disappeared as soon as they entered the door, and apparently were transferred by the Magic Tower. When Lin Tiancheng entered, he glanced at Yi Yuan with a bad look. You can't enter the land level, you will always be a garbage. Today, you are lucky, there is a teacher named Hu Yan. I will not be touched by me in the college. Otherwise you will die. After that, Lin Tiancheng stepped in and his body shape disappeared instantly. Yi Yuan smiled, and the threat to Lin Tiancheng was not in his heart. He turned to the green child and said, "Green children, let's go in."